29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
22. 21.
20.
19.
18.
17.
16.
15.
14. 13. 12.
11.
10.
8.
6.
6. What happened to 7?
7.
5.
4.
3.
2.
1. 0.
You guys like that new countdown? Is that countdown more fun than just watching it count? What's up, everyone? What's going on? I don't know what time Cole's going to come in. I do need to adjust this, though. I was playing around with this. Some of you guys are old enough to remember this actual commercial campaign that was what Memorex did. It was, I can't remember if is it real or is it Memorex or is it live or is it Memorex? I can't remember, but there you go. I have the Memorex background. So when Cole gets here, I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about shipping knives because we know that Cole had I apologize for shadows on my face, guys. I did not break out the new lighting for this. So Cole had an issue with some knives he shipped, and I have had issues. Well, I shouldn't say I've had issues. I wouldn't say I've had issues. I've used warranty services on knives before, only once, and I had an okay experience, but it wasn't great. But they've changed the way they've done it. Love everything about it here, how it's all run. Well, isn't that cool? I appreciate it. Let me text Cole. So wife and kid, I will tell you guys a story about something that happened yesterday before the wife and kid took off. So my wife and kid are officially on the plane. They're on their way from Fukuoka, Japan to Tokyo. And then ding, 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 ding. It works. It works, Aiden. Ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. I don't have my bell, and I don't think I'm going to go get it because, to tell you the truth, I don't feel good. And if I look crappy and fat in the face, it's because I am on antibiotics. And one of the side effects of a large dose of some of these antibiotics is they make you bloat and swell up. I saw myself in the mirror. I was like, good God, I'm fat today. But how about that new Wii pocket clip? I haven't seen it. Maybe we'll pull that up here in a little bit. But so wife and kid are officially on. Maybe I'll have Cole pull it up. That way I don't have to type it in because I'm horrible at typing. Yeah, I wanted to talk. Are you allergic to painkillers? No, I'm allergic to numbing agents. I just don't like painkillers. I don't like the way that most of the narcos make me feel. But I am allergic to the numbing agents. I'm using a tablet. Busted my phone good. Why would you ask if I'm allergic to painkillers? Out of curiosity. It's because, no, I'm not allergic to painkillers. I am allergic to numbing agents, which sucks because I work with knives and I cut myself all the time. Good thing is, as you guys saw from that video with your tooth. Oh, what I have is an infection in the gum line in between the cheek and gum. It's not in the tooth. I did, however, have a tooth removed here a while back with no numbing agent. Is that the one you're talking about? When I had that molar that got, I had a abscess. But at any rate, so what happened is I have an autoimmune disorder. I take immunosuppressors. I'm really susceptible to infections really easily. I managed to get a rip-roaring infection. I felt like crap for a little bit. I noticed my jaw was sore. I made an appointment because when I put on my CPAP, I was like, wow, my jaw is really tender. Yeah, that one, Pat, yeah. No, I'm not allergic to painkillers. I just don't like taking them. So at any rate, I Sorry about that. I noticed that it was really tender when I put on my CPAP mask. Well, then I had this big thing pop up like a pimple along my gum line, and it popped. Sorry about that. Anyway, it popped, and I had a bunch of pus come out, and I was at the doctor. So they gave me some large doses of antibiotics. They are recommending I see a dentist in case it is like an abscess, like a tooth abscess. I don't think it is because I don't have any tooth pain. But the antibiotics are making me. Holy crap, look who's here. It's 2A Dave. Where have you been, sir? Where have you been? I'm glad you made it. Glad you made it for Friday. Cole's going to stop by a little by, send him a link. Any rate, I wanted to point out something to you guys. This is that Migueron Knives Valona that Jared gifted me. Didn't have to. I almost feel bad about it. I told him as a joke, I was like, hey, I'm not going to put this in the box. I'm going to hold on to this longer. I'll send it back with the next batch of knives you send me. He goes, just keep it. And I was like, nah, man, you don't have to do that. He goes, no, really, just keep it. And I was like, I'm not going to argue too much because I really do like this knife. I have to say that this knife takes one of the most aggressive edges I've ever had. No, not joking. Like, I get knives really sharp. This is right now at 8,000 grit on my new 8,000 grit Shapton stone. And it is nightmare. And like, I am no joke. I'm scared of this knife. Like, I'm really careful with this knife opening or closing it. I mean, because it is dangerous. DC 53 steel is insane. Graveyard. You know what? I always loved graveyards. I actually did better working nights when I was in the military. So when I worked at the security department at the police, basically at the police station, I would work mids. I loved it. 12 on, 12 off. Or no, you weren't. Yeah, you're 12 on, 12 off. 3 days on, 2 days off, 2 days on, 3 days off. And I loved it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, those 3 12s in a row, that was a rough stretch. But then you had a 3-day weekend. It was great. And I actually, anytime I got a chance, I would work mids. I always like working nights. You always have so much more to do. When I would work 11 to 7, it always felt like I had so much more. I would work from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I would get off. I would go home. But no, I mean, I get off at 7 a.m. While everyone was work, I'd go to the bank when I first opened. I'd get all my stuff done. I get my shopping done. I just felt like I had more time because the time that I had available was all daytime. Like, if you work days, you only have like a little bit of time after work. If you're working nights, you have the entire time after that you're basically, when everyone's at work, you have all that shit available to you. Lines are shorter, post office, bank, all that stuff. I always loved working nights. I usually get home 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, and then I'd be able to sleep till, 10 a.m. till like 6 p.m. There's a good 8 hours sleep, 6 p.m. I didn't have to be at work till 11 o'clock at night. I had so much more so much more time. I really don't know who he was talking about. I know for fuck's sake it's not mine because my views are in the gutter. But no, I don't know who he was referring to. There's, it just depends. I wouldn't put it past some channels. There's, as much as I might be in the knife community, guys, I honestly don't watch that much knife content. Because by the time you get done sharpening knives and maintaining knives and researching the knife that you're going to do the video about and carrying the knife, testing the knife, you know what I want to watch? I want to sit back and smoke a fat one and watch a dude clean carpets or watch cartoons or some of that other crazy stuff. But at any rate, what I was saying about this, Jared, ever so thoughtful of a gift. He was like, keep it. I can get another one. So I have this Migueron. If you guys have a channel and you have not gotten to see one of these in DC 53, I am willing to loan it with you better promise it's coming back. because it is pretty impressive. Not just the knife, the steel, like I said, terrifying how sharp this stuff is. So, waiting on Cole to get here. Hey, Havoc, I did not invite you on because I don't have the kind of energy to wrangle in your specific round of weirdness. Let's try and plan on, I'll send you an email. Let's try and plan on doing that midweek next week. Okay? Not ignoring you. I want this as a wall hanging, right? I mean, it looks cool. It looks like it's hanging behind me, but it's just my green screen. So, we haven't yet. I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, I'm sick. I had a couple cups of coffee because I knew I wanted to do this. I don't like leaving you guys without live feeds. People start complaining. I enjoy the live feeds, but I don't know what happened. I took a major hit on the income on YouTube. I looked at it today and I was like, wow, that's not great. No, they redid this on Jackass. This is from Memorex, Aiden. The old Memorex commercials. This was their thing. Is it live or is it Memorex? Those fucking dogs. Oh man, I was mad. I'm sick. Last night at 1 o'clock in the morning, a neighbor's dog started fucking barking, and I opened up my window because I could hear that they were there. Yeah, but okay. Please don't bring up any political stuff though. That's one of the no-nos on this channel. It's one of those things that actually YouTube frowns on it, and people are like, "Well, it doesn't matter. It's in the comments." Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. So this is a place where I want this. I like my channel to be like hanging out in my living room where we're just sitting around and you know what I don't talk about with my friends? Politics, because it always ends up badly. So you guys want to hear the no, I get it. And don't get me wrong. You want to know if I have some political opinions, go to my full 30. I've done a few political videos. So last night, Memorex was audio cassette. They sold blank audio cassettes, and Memorex made basically any recording media you could get Memorex made. So at any rate, last night, my wife calls me, and I had one of those things. I told a bunch of people about it in the live chat on their live feed on stuff. So my wife and kid had to go to Tianjin, which is an area of Fukuoka, Japan, which is the third largest city in Japan. And when I've never seen it, Ethan, never seen S40 145. So they go to Tianjin because my wife and kid had to get a COVID test to get on the plane today, because they're on the plane right now on the way to Tokyo to come back here. So I'll be picking them up at like around 5 tomorrow. So at any rate, let me make sure that I text him before. So at any rate, the wife and kid go to this place that is a underground shopping center. Well, I used to go there before I met my wife. I would go to Fukuoka from where the base was constantly. We would go up there, hang out, meet girls, go to the bars and stuff. And we would go to this underground shopping center, and it's huge and it's confusing. And they don't really talk about it, but it's old bomb raid tunnels underneath the city of Fukuoka. So my wife calls me. She FaceTimes me and she's like, "Did Isabel text you?" And I'm like, "No." She's like, "I let her go to the bathroom and it's been almost an hour and she hasn't come back." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Over. So I'm trying to call her and it's just coming back. "The number you dialed cannot be reached." And I look and I finally see that my wife, hang on a second. So I could see that my daughter she didn't have enough signal that I could call her, but it had enough that her GPS was working. So my wife doesn't know how to use the Find My iPhone thing, but I have both of them. I can track both my wife and daughter, and it sends our location and it sends mine. And so I was able to get a picture of where my daughter was and have my wife go that direction. And oh man, my kid was in a panic. Like she's crying and stuff. So, but for like, my kid had been missing for almost an hour when my wife got a hold of me. And it took us a good 45 minutes to get it figured out. So she was missing for like, my daughter was lost for like almost 2 hours. And it's just a nightmare. And the fact that I'm all the way here, even though I know that place so well, I probably could have figured out ways. Because my wife was like, she was the bathroom. She went to the bathroom close to the bakery. And I was like, down near the end where you come in off the bus station, right? She goes, yeah. And I was like, okay, I know that place and stuff like that. And so she's like, but she's not there. And so what had happened was, it's attached to the train station and the bus station. Fukuoka is a huge place. Fukuoka is a huge city. There's so many people. And so what happened was either a train had let out a bunch of people or the bus had let out a bunch of people. She comes out of the bathroom and there's just this big sea of people. And so she got bumped around and she got disoriented and was walking the wrong direction. And you can literally walk forever in this underground shopping center. So did it send? I've been having a hard time getting stuff to go. So, yeah, I wanted to talk about, we're going to talk about some shipping knives stuff and some knife warranty. I've only ever had to use the warranty service on one knife, to tell you the truth. Well, except for like my Ferrum Forge stuff. And I would just take it to Elliot and give it to him. Like I had a cracked lock bar on a knife one time and stuff like that. This is not Maxo. This is the memorex, right? This is the memorex. Is it live or is it memorex? That's what this is. Everybody's like, oh, it's Maxo, it's Dolby. This was memorex. Hang on. Memorex images. It was well, this is a good one here. Welcome, Winston. Hey man, I'm not gonna lie, I love that little knife. I'm trying to share a screen so I can show you guys. This I 100% remember being, well, Maxell might have been the type of tape from memorex. Let me see here. Yeah, see here? Memorex, is it live? Turntable. This is a Memorex. It's the only image I could find that had it, that popped up quick. Hey, look who's here.
Well, howdy. Well, howdy.
You know, I had one of my friends back home message me because they've seen a couple of our live feeds, and he was like, here's the deal. You guys should do a live feed with you minus the hat and him minus the voice. And I was like, I don't like the sound of that. I don't like anything about that.
It'd be a real squeaky, messy-haired mess.
Messy-haired mess. And every time I bend down, you know, like people be like, good God, blinded me.
My eyes!
At like 6'3", if I don't wear my hat, most people can't tell that I'm balding.
Yeah, it's perfect. No one will ever know. No one's tall enough to see it.
Right? Well, except for Elliot. But I mean, actually, you guys probably have seen me without a hat on more times than my wife and kid have in a very long time.
It's kind of crazy.
So, hey, I was telling everybody I was waiting for you to get here.
Yeah. What do you got for me?
Shipping knives. Now, I know that you had a nightmare story happen.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a question for you. How did you package that up? Was it like taped on all corners and all that shit real well?
Yeah. I literally tape all the edges. But they busted that thing apart and then just wrapped it in packing tape, like all the way around. And I was like, that's not the package I sent. As soon as they sent me a picture of it, I was like, that is not the box I sent you. Holy shit.
So I've never had an issue with a knife not getting there. I did have, pardon me, I just ate. I tried to send you a picture of my dinner, but for some reason, I can't right now. I can't send images to anything but iPhones. So you're not getting it. It's not.
Oh man!
I tried 3 times. Well, it was really simple. It was a bowl of white rice.
Easy. We did a nice chicken stir fry for dinner. It was delicious.
I ate. So I had 2 bowls of white rice. The second bowl, I had some chicken salad I'd made from a leftover rotisserie chicken, and I made that. And then I was putting that on top of the rice. It's actually really good. It's one of my favorite things is chicken salad on top of white rice.
Sounds pretty damn good to me.
So the only issue I've ever had with shipping my stuff, I sent stuff to another YouTube channel, and I sent him. I had a Skaha 2 that was a gift from one of the YouTube subscribers. Great knife. I loved it. And the guy was like, I haven't got to see one. He's like, I've seen a Rask. They say it's a Rask killer because it was like half the price,
Yeah.
if not less, than an actual Rask. And I was like, dude, I've got your Best Tech Swordfish. I'll just send this with it.
Oh, the swordfish, dude. That thing's like a sword. Literally a sword.
So I sent them both, and he tells me, he's like, oh, well, it got like it got torn into and what it looked like. And so I tried to do the because I had insured it, and you're never gonna get money out of the post office. They're like, oh well, that's too bad. We're not fucking honoring it. So I mean, I'd lost all that money, and then
makes my tummy hurt talking about it.
So I mean, I lose this knife that I really, really loved, but then I get to I'm investigating because that you can get snapshots of it being processed through.
Yep.
So I got all that info, and that thing was fine all the way up. And then this dude's YouTube channel just disappears. Like there was never a video not after. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that I
know what happened.
I'm pretty sure. I did counter surveillance, counterterrorism. I went to investigator school when I was in the military. I might look dumb, but I went to a lot of high level, big thinking schools that the government y'all paid for after I retired. I had to do loss prevention and investigation of theft and things like that. And so just sitting there, I was like, I'm pretty sure I figured out what happened. I know what happened. That dude now has my $300 Skaha. So that was mine. Now I have had stuff. I had something get misdelivered one time, and that was the postman's fault. When they went back to look for it,
that's happened here before. But the neighbors here are really nice. They're like, "Hey, we got this."
No, not here. I was in a shithole part of San Diego, and it got delivered. And the postman remember where he delivered it to. It got signed for, and the people that were there like, "Nope, never happened." And they're like,
"Sorry, don't know what you're talking about." Because we opened it and we liked what was inside.
It was a Sebenza. And then I had a guy send me a ZT 0300 BK. The big,
BLT? Baconless tomato?
BLK. It was the big let me see. Can I pull it up? It was a big ZT. It was the mixed strider, almost 10 onion, had the great big recurve blade. It was massive. I had a guy send me one for sharpening, and it showed up, and somebody took off with it. And as I was walking the dog one day, I see the package. I just saw your background. I see a package on the outside of the fence line of our little area. Somebody stole it and tore into it, and I found it. And there was several other packages on that back area. People are garbage. I don't know if you know that.
People are something else. Kind of blows my mind. We've had something like that happen before. Kara had a package delivered, and the neighbor, like around the corner, 3 houses up, were like, "We found this package ripped open in our bushes. We just figured we'd bring it back to you." I was like, "Great, thanks."
There's another POS right there. Didn't you get screwed? Didn't this guy you won something and you were supposed to get it and never got it from this dude?
Monster Racing, yeah, he was really nice and really communicative about it up until for like a month or two. Yeah. And I was like, whatever. If money's tight, man, I was like, I really don't need the knives or whatever. You can always draw again later. But if you're going to ship them, just let me know. And then, very responsive and he would update me, once a week, twice a week for like 2 or 3 months. And then he just kind of disappeared. I don't have any hard feelings. I don't know what he's going through. I don't know if he's, I don't want to say what a piece of crap and the dude's going through some shit. But
because apparently he had like 14 other accounts.
And he had a bunch of knives donated, I guess, in that pack. None of them were worth a ton of money, but again, I don't. Either he was, I don't know. He always seemed very genuine to me when I talked to him.
Yeah, well, he did too with me, and then I find out he's got like 14 other accounts, and he's been doing the same thing on like Pew Pew in the Pew Pew community as well. And then I thought, like, here's the thing: I just feel bad because I donated $100 that I could have easily used for my kid, as opposed to like somebody that was scamming us trying to talk about their kid.
Right. And there was nothing to show for it for anybody.
Nothing to show for it. Like I said, I didn't want anything from it. Like I didn't want the knives. I didn't care. I just wanted to help out. But
yeah, all I did was donate $10. I didn't donate a ton of money. I was like, here's $10.
I donate 100 because I do a GoFundMe every year for my kids skating. And like, I've had one of my long-term subscribers. He did it anonymously, so I'm not going to call him out here. But you know who you are, and I know you watch videos. You don't very often comment, but donated like $1,100. Wow! And they do it every time.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, it's this community's way too cool and way too generous for somebody to show up and take advantage of it. I guess that's why everybody gets so riled up about it. Is because this community is way too giving and way too honest. Like this whole community runs on the honor system, all of it. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I send people $700-800 knives in a nondescript deal, just a regular fucking
$50 included shipping, included insurance.
Here's the thing: the only time, and I've told people this, the only time I've ever had something come up missing was times that they required it to be either signed for, because then it goes back on the truck. Actually, there's been 3 times that I've lost.
Yeah, when it comes back, there's a lot more chances for it to disappear.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, anytime I've sent anything with insurance, it's always been an issue. Always. Or if I've received something with insurance, if I have to sign for it, and then that gives that postal clerks a second shot at looking at, like, hey, man, this thing's got like $1,000 with insurance on it.
Yeah, well, and I think that was the issue with my package that disappeared between here and California. Well, didn't disappear, but was emptied and then replaced with essential oils. Was I had it insured. I added like $300 in insurance and then put my Instagram and YouTube name on the box. Right? So they see this big insurance number, and then they see basically an @ sign on the fucking box, and all they have to do is Google it. They knew what was in the box. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
and ever since then, I've never put the Tri-State name on a box, and everything's gotten delivered. Knock on wood.
You know what? I actually thought about this earlier when I sent off a bunch of stuff, and half of the boxes, I quit even putting my last name on it.
Yeah, I'm about to stop doing that as well.
Yeah.
Just a last initial will be enough.
Yeah, I don't, I have a little stamp. I'm thinking about I have a stamp that I had made in Japan. It's on a pin, and it has my name in Japanese, which is the same thing I have tattooed on my chest here. Because that way, if I get drunk and I pass out in the park and the cops come up, they just move my shirt, and it's like, oh, it's okay, it's Mike. Not joking. I
Now, Sergeant, what's up, man?
I literally have my name in kanji tattooed on my chest.
That way, that way they can identify the body.
That way they can identify the body. It's like, oh my God, all these body parts. Like, yeah, well, we know who that one is, because that's Mike, because he's the only idiot who would get his own name tattooed on his chest.
What's big white bearded idiot in Japanese? What is that?
Mike-san. Hey, so I have a question for you. When you went to Japan, did you ever go to Fukuoka?
No, we were Tokyo, Kanazawa, Kyoto, back up to Tokyo.
Kanazawa, I know they have these.
On the far west coast. Gorgeous.
The underground bomb raid tunnels that they had in Japan. They converted all those into like underground shopping centers, and then built bus and train stations on top of them, so that they had this area. So they had like an area for people to mill about and go shopping and stuff like that. And so they have these. I was telling a story. I don't know if you got to hear it before you came in. So my wife and daughter had to go to Tenjin, which is in the busiest part of Fukuoka, which is the 3rd largest city in Japan. And so my wife and daughter got separated because my daughter went to the bathroom in this underground shopping center.
Dude, the underground bus stations, subway stations are a maze. A maze.
Because they're like, the hubs are all built around these old air raid tunnels, and they're confusing and they're convoluted, and they take any rate.
They'll double back on each other. You don't even know you doubled back, and you're like, I've been here before. What's happening?
The wife called me after the kid had been missing for almost an hour, and it
It's
took
Japan.
us
She'll
almost
be fine.
another hour. No, you say that. You say that as an American that has only visited Japan. As an American that lived there for 13 years, that place is the pinnacle of random abductions. Children get abducted.
I get that. I can see
murdered.
that.
Yeah, it's horrible in Japan. It's like you don't see it on the news, but living there, I'm going to tell you, it's.
You hear about it all the time.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I have a game that me and you need to play together on
no.
a stream. It's called Billions Road. Have you ever heard of this? It's a Japanese video game. It's basically, and it is very Japanese. It is like goofy cartoon characters. It's basically Monopoly, but the board is the entire country of Japan.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you like, they're like these little
Play online
pet demons.
We should play online Risk sometime too.
Dude, I'm just saying it's literally like Risk, Monopoly, and something else all wrapped into one, but it is wild. I'll send you a video clip of it. It is hilarious.
I know
you'd get a kick out
I
of
was
it.
trying to get you to come on tonight because originally my plan was my buddy Tino and I were going to set this up with 2 chairs side by side and like push this out a little bit. And I was gonna try and drop this up onto the TV so he and I could see it. The plan was for me and Tino right before the live stream started to get into that marijuana tincture that I made.
Oh, the
And
tincture.
Tincture.
The
It's Everclear with like half a pound of shake and sugar leaf and trimmings and all that stuff.
It's a can of regret, is what it sounds like.
No, it's amazing. It is the best. Like rubbing it, if you rub it on, like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Take a little bit, you rub it on your skin. Like that's amazing. But if you drink it, so the whole plan was we were each going to take 5 cc's, which is a good dose of that. 5 mils of that is plenty. And the plan was for us to sit here and you were going to judge which one of us started to feel the effects first. Like you're going to just try and stay as normal as possible. It was like, see who it hit first.
Okay. All right. I'm into that.
Yeah. But he got assigned. He has a CPR first aid thing that he has to do on Monday. And he's like, yeah, I should probably get this done because there's no way I'm doing it tomorrow. So he's just working late because it's all online. Now, the question I have for you, have you had to deal with any companies for warranty, for knife warranty?
I haven't. I'm getting close on the quiet carry.
What's wrong with your quiet carry?
Well,
You got some blade pull? You got some lockdown? Does it rattle like a maraca when it's open?
all of the above.
That's, you know what? You're not the first person that happened to. And I actually blame someone. I'm like, you did it your own self.
No, mine was out of the box. I was like, wow, that lockup it was not very good. Like, even if you flicked it really hard and opened it, the lock bar would just flop around. It wasn't making full contact, right? So what I did, I took it apart, cleaned it really well. And I guess the detent was really bad at first. So I took it apart, cleaned it really well, kind of put a little pressure on the lock bar, pushed it over some more. Solid now. Solid as a damn rock. But there's still just a little bit of blade play, no matter how much I crank it. And because it's on washers, if I crank it anymore,
yeah, you lose your action.
If I crank it anymore, and the action's already not,
Yeah. Now see the waypoint. I got to handle the waypoint. Is that the drift?
Yeah, this is the drift.
Yeah, I never liked the drift. I have so many other knives. It's not that I didn't like it. I have so many other knives that are just like it. I mean,
now, don't get me wrong. It's a great knife. It's super thin and slicey, a great steel. It's really light and like overall crazy thin. It's a really nice, well done knife. It's just minor niggles for me that bug me. And the pocket clip, the wire clip wiggles back and forth.
I hate that.
That bothers me. That bothers me, man.
So let me tell you something. And I'm not at all like Waypoint. The guys from Waypoint, they all seem like great guys. The knives are good.
Yeah, they're super nice people. I've talked to them a couple times.
The other one, we were talking about this in a group chat with a couple guys. I'm not gonna call them out because I don't want people like, oh man. But you guys know that Oz Engineering, the Roosevelt.
Yeah,
I've handled that. I've handled the Waypoint drift. I've handled the Waypoint, or I'm sorry, the quiet carry drift, the quiet carry Waypoint, and they're good knives. But you know what? This is how it's like. There's something missing, and I was like, you know what? When you have knives that have had a lot more like input from an actual person, there's more character to it. And what happens is, so some of these knives that people are paying so much for and they say that they think are so great, I have knives that might not cut as well. The action might not be as good, but they have this little bit of character. And I put it to it like this. It's like listening to a professional musician sing a song and all the flourishes and stuff that they add. And then the production knives, some of the production knives I see are more like going to karaoke and somebody is just singing the lyrics. It's all there. Like the song is all there. There's just something missing, and it's the character. There's that's why I don't have a button lock Mordax, because I have an OG Mordax.
You have the real one. Yep.
And you just can't compare them. Like, is that button lock Mordax great? Yeah, it is. Does it cut better than the one I've got? Absolutely. The one I have is thick as shit. But there's just something.
Yeah. Same.
Right?
But it's great. I don't care. Here it goes. It looks stunning. It's just a beautiful looking knife.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's fun to play with, me.
Have you seen my original?
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, Bob. Oh, yeah.
So like, I don't want to say that where did I put it? Oh, there it is. So, there are some really, really great production knives out there, and they're all great. Like, I would never say that the Waypoint is not a great knife. It is, but it just doesn't have stuff. But every once in a while, there's one that does pop, and this is one of them. That Nimble.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Would I own it? No, it doesn't fit my hand right. But everything.
You know which one? You know what would fit your hand? The XL.
Oh, you may have to.
The new one.
You may have to send me that one for testing.
And so there's a pass around going on. Get with Lefty. He's in charge of that.
Well, that's who I got this from.
Yeah.
This
yeah. So this is literally that same colorway, the bronze hardware black frag. But this is the new sheep spear foot blade with the big fuller. This is a big knife. Let me show you in comparison to the little guy.
I thought you were like, here, let me pull out my penis and show you. Look how much bigger it is. Oh, wow. Yeah.
This is your size, man. This is your size. This is a big boy.
Hang on. Ken, I apologize. Thanks for pointing that out, Aiden. I can't see the little things that show like how long. The way my membership stuff works is it's set up so that at certain weight, like if you hit every month that you're there, like 8 months, 10 months, a year, there's a notification that comes up for everyone. I just can't see it. While I'm on here. Yeah, I want to see one of them. I want to see that.
Oh, dude, it's just as good. I mean, it's just as good. It's just bigger. You know what I mean?
Ooh, no, I like it better. You know why?
It is taller.
No, look at the fuller. The fuller runs the full length of the blade.
Oh, yeah, dude. You can get all the way out on it, man. You don't need to. The D10 is freaking
That is one of the things that really drew me to this when I saw Jared show it, is that incredibly long fuller that's on this.
It's so good.
Jared gave this to me as a gift. Did I tell you that?
No.
So I was telling him, I told Jared, I told everybody else here. I told Jared, I was like, hey man, there's a good chance I'm not putting it in the box this time when I send these knives back. I'll just wait till the next box you send me. And he goes, why don't you just keep it? And I was like, don't do that, man. You don't have to. You already gave me that Manganus Grazioso. And he's like, no, seriously. Like, I talk to the guy all the time. I'm pretty sure I can get another one. Just keep it. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fucking argue with you.
Yeah. All right. Fine.
Because I like it.
Fine.
I was like, fine, you're not getting the knife back. Fuck it. You had your chance. But Bro, it's terrifying. That DC-53 steel is nightmare inducing.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I'll send this to you when I send you the.
What model is that again?
That's the Valona. The Migron Valona.
Well, damn.
Maybe I'll send that to you when I'm.
Oh, dude, I love what Migron's doing, and their price point is crazy, dude, crazy.
I couldn't believe it. So you know how I do my videos? Like I do the first, like the unboxing, and I do first day in pockets. First day in pockets is just that. I don't look up any specs. I don't know the price. A lot of times I don't even know the steel. I just carry it, and then I test it for like a week or two, and I still don't look anything up. Like I knew this was in DC-53 steel. Like I have, and don't tell me because I haven't finished testing it. I don't even know what steel this is in. So I'm
really,
just like, yep. I don't look up any specs. I look at zero specs until the day I'm ready to shoot the review. That way I'm not biased in any way, shape, or form. I don't know the price point. I don't know the steel. A lot of times I don't know anything about that knife until the day I do the full review, unless like Jared will write, like he sent me some knives. He's like, this one's in 14C, but it's also in M390. Sometimes I'll know the steel. But yeah, it gives you a blind, it's a true blind review.
It's that's actually an interesting way to go about it. Yeah, because you have this, especially you've sharpened so many knives. You know how steel is supposed to be, right? Mm-hmm. So by the time you're done reviewing it, if you haven't looked it up or haven't seen it, what kind of steel it is, you have a general idea whether or not it's performing well once you do find out. That's an interesting idea. You don't have that
sometimes it's marked on the blade and stuff like that. But
yeah, like, you can't avoid it. Yeah.
Especially price point. Like I hate to admit it, but even still, knowing that there are so many good budget knives out there, if I had known this was a $49 knife, I probably would have thought of it as a $49 knife. And I try to avoid that. Yeah. I really do try to avoid that. So it keeps me honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I absolutely do.
I tell companies that send, like, I've had companies say, hey, I want to send you a knife to do this. And I'm like, okay, but understand this. If I don't like it, I'm going to poo-poo on it in the video. Like, I can't not do that. And there's a lot of companies like, yeah, never mind.
Yep. I got a little gem in. Richie of the Knife Modders has been talking about these Blade HQ exclusive mini sheepdogs, and this is a knife I've avoided for a really long time.
I just don't like the sheepdogs, and I don't know why. They're now this is knife. I just don't like them.
This is the mini, yeah, and I've never been that interested really. But I got to tell you, man, no, it's the non-flipper version, and it is the snappiest little thing. This was $84, and it's in 10V.
Ooh.
It's in 10V, man. It's great little knife.
I'm not gonna lie. I sharpened that spider. I finally sent it out. Like there was a couple knives that were in for sharpening. I just did not want to send back. I'm like, these are so nice. I had that Para 2 in CPM 10, and that was the first Spyderco in literally years that I was like, I'd buy this.
$84. There's still like every version of this in stock. I can't believe it. It's great.
So Jared has sent me 3 different versions of the sheepdog, and I'm like,
the non-flipper version. I got to tell you, is
he sent me a flipper.
I hate that big stupid flipper thing.
He sent me a flipper, a non-flipper,
but I like that,
and I didn't like either one of them. And I was like, just don't send me any more of the sheep.
Like, no more.
The design, like I understand why people like it. I just don't know what it is. It doesn't feel right in my hand. You know what I mean? And like I said, a knife's a tool. If I'm going to be,
I mean, and it doesn't help that the flipper tab's like that fucking big on it too. It's like this big square. It's really ugly. The flipper tab on the flipper version.
You know, I have some knives that have some weird flipper tabs, and I still love them. Like a lot is for me. The ergos of it are what. Here, I'll show you one I hate. I really hate, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh no, I can't believe he hates this."
I don't like it. Visually, I hate it.
It is uncomfortable. It's
very ugly.
I love Mark Begg, and I like what he was doing with these Steelcraft series of the Begg knives, but this one is fucking hideous.
I also hate the upswept tip, man. I really hate that on a knife. I really don't like that.
From a standpoint of what I would use it for, yes. If you were like trying to use, like, if you want a knife for
yes.
Stabby,
oh
slicey,
yes, slices for sure. But I need to open a package, pal.
This thing is so dull.
Yikes!
This is one of my buddy Tino's knives that he let me. He's like, yeah, if you sharpen it, and I'm like, cool, I'll sharpen it for you. But I have 10 Ferrum Forge Maker's Choice knives of his. Like he owns 10. Christ. That just in those, you're looking at about, well, he has a couple that were more than 1,000.
Right. So we'll call it 12. Let's call it 12. 12
just
Gs.
that. Like I have $12,000 worth of his knives. And my buddy was like, why do you always throw that? Like I have the slide lock on my garage door. He's like, why do you slide that every time you close the garage door? I was like, dude, like literally you get in my garage.
Nobody getting in here, dude. It's
I
game
don't want
over.
anybody in here. Like the house is locked up like a fucking vault. Like even when I leave to go places, I'll throw that and I'll walk around and come in the front door and then open it back up to bring in the groceries. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of fucking nightmare in my life where I'm laying in bed going, was that the garage door? Was that the garage door? Was that the garage door?
Hello? Hello?
So
I need to adjust this. It's driving me nuts.
I did the. Did you see the video I did today that went up today?
No. I was slammed at work all day, and then I had to do 2 videos for myself. I haven't had time to watch anything.
I did the EXO extravaganza.
Ah, the extravaganza.
I had all 3 blade shapes. I still have all 3 blade shapes. I had the drop point, mine. I had the double-edged bayonet, like it's not a full double-edged, and I have the Tonto because Tino let me borrow them. He has all 3. And I was like, why not do a video of it? So I did a video, and I thought it would do well, but apparently YouTube has pushed me way down the algorithm because I looked at.
I've noticed that too lately.
It's the whole thing with our viewers. That whole thing that we have with
they're climbing back up, but it really threw the algorithm robot for a loop, man.
I'm seeing less than half the views I was seeing before. People are like, I'm not getting any notifications.
Wow.
Videos. I'm like,
my view counts have been pretty solid.
Mine haven't. But like when you look at it, because I looked at my analytics and it said that I had lost almost 300 subscribers in 28 days. That's one of those negative things you don't want to see. Like when you see shit red on your analytics.
Yeah. Yes, I know. Especially with like -1 or 2, sure. But mine was sitting at like -80 yesterday. I was like, oh,
mine was
over a 28-day average. I was like, Jesus.
Mine was 200. Mine was -200. And I'm like, well, that's why no one's getting. I'm like, YouTube is not, and I
put in my b-hole. That's what YouTube's doing.
So I'm like, fuck, great. So we tried to do something cool, and it completely fucking backfired. And I told Jared, like, let's not do that again. I'd like Mr. Amazing. That was great. Thanks for the thought, but let's never fucking do that again.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, it was good. I've gotten a lot of good new subscribers from it at the end of the day. Like he added it.
Yeah. I want to.
Yeah, but I've gotten people that are now like channel members, and I got a couple Patreons out of it. You know, overall, it's been a very good thing for the channel.
I haven't had a new channel member in fucking forever. The only thing I get notified is people that resubscribe, and I'm like, well, I mean, that's cool. But I set a giveaway, and I'm gonna hold tight to it. I have a huge giveaway schedule. I have a serialized version, number 2 of 60, of my sea snake knives. My sea snake, number 2 of 60.
Mamacita.
It's the Blade Show West exclusive. I bought that for a giveaway. They are $160, and that is just part of the giveaway I have set for my 100 paying member giveaway. So when I hit 100 paying members, I'm going to give it away, but I'm not giving it away just to a paying member. When I hit that 100 paying members, the knife and everything that's going to be available, all 4 items are going to be available to everyone on the channel. And I'm like, I guess I'm just never giving that away. It's just going to sit there because I'm not giving away a $160 knife just because, you know, I set it as the giveaway. So the whole deal was a shirt, a hat, the knife, a sharpening, it was the sea snake. Yeah, it was the micarta sea snake. I have number 1 that's mine because I've never owned number 1 of a limited edition run of anything. And the fact that I number 1 of my knife limited edition.
Mine's number 3. My Nimble's number 3. That's the closest I ever got.
What is this one? 14. Lefties is 14. But
I'm going to tell you what's really been impressive.
I also bought number 2.
I'll take them both, please.
Well, the whole plan was I wanted the closest 1-to-1 for the paying members, and plus, you know, the pee poo poo joke. You know, I bought number 2. I bought number 1 and number 2. I got them both.
I bought number 3, whatever that means. What is that? Both at the same time? I don't know.
I think that's the double dragon. That's like like when you're pissing and shitting, and you got to have a trash can. You're like, I don't know what end it's gonna come out of. That's a number 3.
Yeah, gotcha. Sinister, yes, I did add to the background, and I took away. Channel members get all kinds of goofy shit now. They get all kinds of fun emojis.
Hey, we don't have to.
We were going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about. We don't have to try and do it tonight because I think that's going to be something that will make people go, "You're like, I'm not fucking watching this," or or they might be like, "Look at this idiot." I'm not sure which way.
Right. I got to be honest with you. I only offered to just like you send me the JPEGs and I'll deal with it because it's kind of a pain in the ass.
I know, but eventually,
everything to work with YouTube's little. Because you have to set a blank background,
I know,
and then take your backgroundless image over and make sure it fits in that blank square that you've made. It's a fun time.
I've got some pretty cool pictures. Like I want the if we can do it as a picture, I would like to have that black. And remember when we did the live the New Year's Eve live feed, and I had the Mr. Broccoli skull in black and white behind me.
Yeah.
I want that as an emoji. I'm thinking I want this as an emoji. You know, just goofy shit.
Yeah, we can cut the dude in the chair and the lamp out easy.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's kind of cool, but like, I mean, I could see people getting a kick out of watching me as an idiot and you trying to explain it because it. So
open up Photoshop.
No, I'm not doing that. I might just go ahead and just let you do like you said because you're so much better at shit like that.
Yeah, because I can tear through them and I can give you like a step by step, pretty easy. But it's kind of a drag and it's very specific what YouTube wants. Otherwise, it'll look all smushed and contorted and shit. Well, nobody will know what they're looking at.
I had that problem with getting the members stuff set up because when you're not on here, you see the logo that's in the background right now. That's what you see behind. If you're just watching, that's what you see. All my members have, and it changes color. So it was just all white and black and white. And the longer they're a member, the more color gets added until they get to the full logo.
I think my full logo, like the final one for me, is my cat's face. That's the final level when you hit 12 months. It's Pepperoni's face.
You want to talk about something funny? I was talking about just like two idiots doing shit. I
might do one of my wife's ass, maybe.
The first apartment that me and my roommate rented, the Navy came out with this thing that like you have to have a phone, and I'm like, well, I don't want to give them my cell phone because we have to be able to reach you. So we decided we were going to get an actual phone in the house. We paid for a phone line. And
landline, baby. Woo!
Well, back then, I mean, this was 1996-ish.
We had a landline in our house all the way up through 2013, 14.
I had one until we moved to this place, until like last year. But at any rate, so we had this phone. So an American phone wouldn't work because the line voltage is different. So you couldn't just buy a base, like an American phone on base and put it out in your so we had to get this Japanese phone, and it had an actual voice, you know, for leaving messages, and it was digital, and it was first, like I was used to tapes and shit, right? Like that's what I was expecting. Right. So here's the two of us, two big dummies. We've been drinking. We finally get the phone all unboxed. We get it all set up, and this is what people got. They're like, "Is it recording?" And he'd be like, "I don't know." And I'd be like, "Well, the red light is on." He's like, "Well, how should I fucking know? The instructions are in Japanese." And us going back and forth. Like, you can hear us leave a message. And people would literally just like.
Was that your voice? That was your voicemail? Was just you two yelling at each other?
Yeah, it's exactly what it was. And people would call and be like, "Oh my God, they're not home. All right, hey man, we'll call you back later." And people would be laughing.
Can you imagine the confusion, dude? Like if I called that number, I'd be like, "What? Is everything okay? Do I need to call the police? Like, are you okay? Hello?"
Like, is it domestic? I mean, they're not lovers. They're just really good friends. They have a 3-bedroom house.
If they are lovers, they're very angry lovers. They're very angry lovers, let me tell you.
We used to have...
So I downloaded Billion Road. I'm telling you, we need to play it. It's 300 megabytes. It's on PC. It's $10 right now.
Yeah, but I'm on a Mac.
Like, any PC can play it.
I'm on a Mac.
Yo, it's for Mac. You can get it for Mac. Yeah, you can get it for a Mac. Doesn't matter. We can play together via Steam. I bet you.
I want to look at it first before I just decide I want to do it. We'll do that.
It's hilarious.
We'll do that in another live.
We'll do it off stream. We'll do a practice run off stream.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like,
and then if you like it, but it's so funny, dude. It makes for great banter.
I do a pretty good job of looking like a jackass. I don't need much help. I come by it now.
We will both, here's the beauty of it. This is kind of why I want to do it on stream for the first time with you, is because we will both be violently confused for the first like 45 minutes. We're just both going to be like, I have no idea.
Okay,
It's so Japanese, dude.
All right, cool. Well, I might have an advantage because I do speak Japanese and I can read a little bit. I had
Well,
an
here's the other thing.
A minus in advanced Japanese, and that meant I had the test was in kanji.
Yeah,
Well,
it's all in English and it's been translated pretty well. But like, if you have a decent idea of the geography of Japan and like where things are located,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
automatically have a huge leg up on everybody else because
that's good
you have to
because I used
plan
to
your
drive
steps
all
whether you're
over.
going up or down. Yeah, I'll send you a video about it later. It's pretty fucking funny.
I used to have to drive bombs and missiles and explosives and shit all over the country from southern Japan north.
Normal.
And the thing is, most people don't know this. Like, there's not a lot of signs that tell you anything about where you're at, where you're going, or where you need to be in Japan.
Yeah,
and we can have GPS.
Thank God for the trains, dude.
Huh?
I said, that's why I thank God for their train system.
Like, if you get off the beaten path and you stop, like when you stop seeing the green "I'm American, I'm lost, help me" signs that are in English, and
where they're very few and far between. Very few and far between.
When you start only seeing the blue signs with hiragana and katakana, you're like, we made a wrong fucking turn.
Yeah. So when we were on the West Coast, we were in Kanazawa, dude. We ended up in this town where there was a we had an Airbnb there, really nice little cottage, like seaside cottage.
They call them penison.
Yeah, gorgeous little traditional Japanese hut, right? But that town was nothing. Was nothing. Not a store, not a police station, not anything. It was one train stop and the ocean. Like, that was it. And we were wandering.
Area. Gorgeous.
We were wandering around, lost as fuck, hungry, because we just got off the bullet train from Tokyo, hungry as fuck, and this old lady picked us up in her car and just kept saying food over and over again in Japanese. That's all I could make out anyway. She was saying a lot more than that, but I could pick up food every once in a while. And she drove us, a total stranger, drove us to the next town, like a 75-year-old woman, drove us to the next town, dropped us off at the train station. There was like a jazz festival going on and food everywhere. And she's like, okay, fun. And just left. Just didn't say anything, just left. I was like, who was that? Was that like Japanese super lady? Like, who was this? She's like a superhero. If I ever go back, I need to find that sweet old lady and give her a kiss.
Now, in Japan, it's weird. Like, the way you have to pay for stuff, like, you can't use a credit card for a lot of stuff in Japan, cash and carry. And so here, the weird thing, like, that most people here in the States, like, I just pay my rent through an electronic draft. You don't do that. You have to go to the bank. You have to deposit the money with a specific card into an ATM, and it has to go, and you use this transfer card, and it takes your cash, it counts it, and it tells you that it got paid, and you get a receipt, and then you mail that receipt to your landlord for proof of payment. So I was getting ready to. It was a Friday night. I had been working nights at the security department, and I had like $1,700 in my wallet. And I was going
big spender.
I was going to pay my rent, and I had went down the hill, and I would put my wallet in my lap. I went down the hill, and then I went back up the hill in my car because sitting on your wallet will give you sciatica. And so I put my wallet in my lap, and when I ran up to the hill back to the house to grab what I forgot, my wallet fell out of my lap and landed on the sidewalk next to where I was parked, because our house didn't have parking. Like, it was just a little trail. You had to walk up this trail. Couldn't drive up there. You could barely get a scooter up there. And so I get to the bank, and I realize my wallet's gone. Search all over the car. So my immediate thing was like, yeah, I lost the money. That's not such a big deal. The big deal is I lost my military ID, which is a key to the base, and something
something money can't buy.
And so I go, and I have to go fill out at the security department. I have to go fill out a lost ID form, because I was like, yeah, I lost my whole wallet. There's a bunch of money. I did the report on that. I was like, but here's the big deal. I lost my ID card. And they're like, yeah, we got to do this.
You're fucked.
And so as I'm filling this out and I'm having it witnessed, one of the guys is like, hey, Emler, there's some little old Japanese lady out here that has your wallet and will not give it to us, and is saying that we need to get a hold of you. It's like one of the translators told her that you're here and he would give it to you. And she said, no, she will only give it to you.
Wow.
And it's my neighbor. And she's like, oh, Mike, no, saifu. Wasureto. Oh, gomen. And all the money was there. And she says, oh, yokatta, anata iru. She's like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Would not give my wallet to a fucking police officer. She wouldn't give it to anyone.
Wow. Because she knew you.
Not really. I mean, we would pass each other and shit.
Right, but the lady that drove me 15 miles to the next town, we were scrawny white Americans. We didn't even speak her language, but she knew.
What I'm saying is that's not uncommon. That's like the norm. Like people are like
very, very generous people.
Very, so sweet, unless you're a POC.
Well,
they're very, very racist.
Yes.
They really are.
Yes.
That's one of the things that I did dislike. But no, that's not a weird thing. Now you've been to a Japanese festival, so you know what the street food situation's like in Japan.
It's money, dude. I don't want to talk about it. It's so good.
I'm so mad. Like my daughter.
Give me a deep fried strawberry covered in chocolate or some shit. Like just random stuff that you wouldn't even think is like Japanese, but they just do it better than we do. I can't explain it.
My father-in-law explains it, and I've heard other people say it. Japanese people will take something that they like and perfect it and make it.
But they'll perfect it in like 15 different fucking ways. They'll be like, oh, you want it deep fried? You want it stir fried? You want it fucking grilled? You want it? And you're like, I don't know. Sure. Okay.
1 minute knife review. There's no haters here today. 1 minute knife review. Not like the guy that was in the comment section the other day that I posted up on Instagram.
Oh yeah. You gotta love it. It keeps us on our toes, you know?
And some people are like, oh, I can't believe you're a snowflake. And it bothers you. If you read the Instagram post and see the response that I made, it was crafted to be humorous. At least it was humorous to me. I'm like, fucking, I think you'll be a happier person. And some people are like, oh, I can't believe it. But he was like, oh, to have the haters and be hated. And I was like, if you're not getting a hater every once in a while, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, seriously.
People get so mad about you criticize those.
I don't think I got any like generalized just kind of hate statements until my first big giveaway at 1,000 subs, and then it was like out of the woodwork. Here they come. Like, wow, dude, you should really do. I hate your silent unboxings. Why don't you tell us something about the knife? And I'm like, watch the review, dude. Like, watch the reviews. There's reviews and unboxings. They're different.
I love when you get the haters that make the comments, and then you just like I don't think that they realize like, all right, they're just telling you how you should run your channel, and you click on it, and they have like 2 subscribers, 0 videos, and like no content, no playlist.
Yeah, I'm like, where I put 1,200 hours into this channel the past 12 months. Where's your videos? I'm sorry.
Right? I was gonna say I've got like 1,500 videos up on YouTube. Like, so you're gonna critique me? I mean, I got like 6,000 people that
I put myself out there, and I'm okay with the hate, but it's annoying when they question the way you do things without doing it themselves. It is annoying,
right? You're like,
but we're the ones that put ourselves out there, so whatever. At the end of the day, they're watching and commenting, and usually my comment back is, "Hey, thanks for supporting the channel." Like, no matter how brutal what they say, I'm like, "Hey, I appreciate you supporting the channel."
As long as it's directed at me, I don't care. Like that dude was directing shit.
I don't stand up for people spit roasting my friends and followers and subs. That's really I won't stand up for that shit.
You can say pretty much anything you want, but I do have some limits. Like if it's getting aggressive or it's nasty and you're being abusive to me, I have a limit where I'm like, all right, you're not on my channel anymore. If you are directing hate at my followers and my subscribers that are voicing an honest opinion, just because you are, and here's the thing. I've never understood these guys that white knight for these knife companies that have no clue they fucking exist. The Demcos do not even know this guy exists.
No, dude, they don't
care.
He's
white knighting about
they don't care.
I mean, they're good guys. I've met them both, John and Andrew. They're good dudes.
Insanely talented as well.
In the big scope of things, do you think that anyone at Demco Knives or Spyderco or Benchmade
cares? No.
Gives a fuck what you think about their knives? No.
All press is good press, baby. You know what I mean?
Right. Thank you, Aiden. Yeah, I was going to say, I forget to ask. Somebody threw it up there already, though. There you go. There is 1 Minute Knife Reviews channel. We've got to get together and do a live feed sometime.
Ooh, damn.
Havoc says, hi, Tri-State. Good night.
Hi, Havoc. How you doing, man? Oh, bye, Havoc. Good to see you, brother.
Well,
it's always a pleasure.
I was going to have him on on Wednesday, but I felt like complete and absolute shit. And I was like, I'm not doing a live feed. And I went to bed. I think I told you. I think I texted you. I told you I went to bed at like Wednesday night. I went to bed at like fucking 7:30. And didn't get up until I didn't get I went to bed at 7:30 and didn't get up till 8 the next morning. And for me, that's like a month.
But you needed it. You did tell me that. And yeah, my response was the same. You fucking needed it.
Yeah. And then the fever and everything started, and then they figured out I had that infection in my jaw. I have that autoimmune disorder. It makes I'm so susceptible to infections. That's why I'm not allowed to work right now. I think the dog.
My wife has really bad kidney issues that messes with her immune system.
Yeah.
So same deal.
Havoc is like, I'm literally in bed right now. That's not an image I fucking wanted. I've seen his YouTube channel.
Just him cuddled up in bed with us. Bizarre. But I'm okay with it.
I was talking with Birdshot. I was like, hey, Birdshot, you want to come on the channel? He goes, bro, we're already in bed. And I was like, it's like 7:30. He goes, it's 8:30. And I was like, ooh, pardon me for being off by
Where are they at? Where are they at? Illinois, Missouri, some
Indiana.
shit?
They're in Indiana.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like central Indiana?
I don't. I used to know where. I used to have their address. I went through.
I found out Bees Blades is like 20 minutes north of me.
Yeah.
Well, I had no idea. We're like neighbors. I was like, dude, we got to do an in-person live stream.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say it because I knew that, and it never registered that you didn't know. I did.
Well, I have never shipped him anything, but I had to ship him something, so I got his address today, and I was like, really?
I knew he was like within like a drivable distance north of you.
Yep.
So
crazy. Small world, man.
Yeah, but so back in the day, I used to talk to Birdshot a lot, and then I kind of went off the rails and was drinking real heavily. I had some undiagnosed PTSD, and I was self-medicating, and I burned a lot of friendships and shit, and kind of
Well, that tends to happen when you spend that much time in the military.
Yeah, and so I started drinking real heavy, and he kind of just was like, I can't be associated with that. But I literally have not drank since the live feed I did with Pete.
Wow.
Mainly because I drank all the beer I had that night, because I was like, oddly enough, like Pete is that YouTuber that I was nervous having on the channel, because I love his channel so much. I was like honestly nervous about it. Like everybody's like, oh, you weren't nervous with Nick Skelton or Jim Skelton or Nick Shabazz? I was like, no, I talk to those fools all the time. They're just weird.
Right.
So yeah, having Pete on made me really nervous, and I wound up I got a little toasty, because you remember I drank all but
toasty.
I drank all but 3 of that 24 pack of Modelo that night. I woke up the next morning after we did that after show, and I was like, there's only 3 beers left in that refrigerator. That explains why I feel like the floor of a theater.
I just sticky, and for some reason I smell like popcorn, and I can't figure out why.
Why do I feel greasy everywhere? Like what does that smell? Oh, that's me. I have some Knife Nerds. I have what is it? Bearded Gear is up north of here. Cerberus Knives is up. He's not really a YouTuber, but he is.
I'm looking forward to his new design. I loved the Orion.
I did too. I like his design. What fucking knife is that?
What? The new one?
No, I've got a knife sitting on my shelf that I don't. Oh, that's Tino's big.
I hate it when that happens.
Right? I'm like, oh, bro, like you should see it. There is a 7-foot set of shelves that is knives from the second shelf up to the top, and they're so it's 1, 2, 3, 6 shelves that are stacked, completely full of knives. Just like they're everywhere here. At least they're not in my wife's house anymore.
Dude, you got to see this. I like I said, I just downloaded this. Look at this shit. This is what you're in store for. This is how Japanese this game is. This is literally the game. It's not just these are just the hosts. It's like a Japanese game show.
Oh no.
It's very Japanese, dude. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Their mic. What is this?
What?
Their mic is your gift from Beardo. Oh, where is my gift from Beardo? So I have a knife that was sent to me by Beardo, the weirdo. I'm pretty sure it was
Beardo the weirdo, you say?
Yeah, I have a.
Oh,
It
damn!
It lives in its box specifically because I don't want it to contaminate the other knives in my garage. Because it will.
I don't want it to stink up the joint.
Right? You gotta. Like, I thought about putting it inside like a I might vacuum seal it and put it just as a like.
Just vacuum seal it.
No, I'm not joking. I may vacuum seal it and put it on the shelf just
with a bunch of silica beads.
I mean, look at that, black and silver spray. Okay.
I have an M-Tech. I love it.
I have to admit, it almost opens.
Mine opens really well. I have the button lock. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
This is the button lock.
Oh, that's a little nicer than the one I have.
It
mine
almost
has a,
makes it. It almost makes.
Is that
it
assisted though?
No.
Wow. Wow.
And I mean, like it's.
Wow.
It's,
that's called high quality.
It's made in metal. Pretty sure it's metal of some sort.
Wow.
I suddenly want to wash my hands.
I suddenly want to take a bath.
I feel dirty. I have oh, here it is. This is what I was going to show you. So this is Tino's. This is the big Osborne.
Oh, wow, big boy. That is a big Osborne. Ugh, I hate the dual grind though, man.
It's not a dual grind. Oh yeah. I thought, I don't know. That is possibly one of the most uncomfortable handles. I'm like, why is it so sharp fucking everywhere?
It looks aggressive, to say the least.
I'm like, it's everything on it hurts.
Damn. Pass. Big pass.
Hard pass.
Oh no. Oh, I'm stuck. I want to get my M-Tech now. You got me all interested.
Look at your M-Tech. I got. Oh, I was going to talk about warranty. Oh, he's gone. So, USA is a great designer. Many designs. Yes. US. Hey, well, that's interesting. How about that? That's nifty. Put your penis through it. So all joking aside, we worked on a 5-inch gun system, 5-inch 54 gun system, right? And I had kids that would like stick their hands into these moving parts, and I'm like, oh wow, yours looks way nicer than mine. I mean,
M-Tech, USA design, but I gotta tell you, man.
Yeah, mine doesn't do that. So I had
it's running on bearings.
I had these kids and they'd stick their hands inside the gun system, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, they're like, why? I was like, that wants to take your hand off. That gun wants you to bleed. It wants you to go home and not be able to. That gun wants you to have someone open your ketchup bottles for you. And they're like, I was like, let me put it to you this way. Don't put your hand anywhere on this gun that you wouldn't put your cock. If you wouldn't put your dick in there, don't fucking put your fingers in there.
That just means stay away from it altogether.
Just don't touch anything. If you hear motors humming,
don't touch anything.
Fucking touch. I mean, most of the guys that work for me are like me. They got these to count to 20. If you got to get or to 10, if you got to get to 20, you got to take your shoes off.
19.
I can only get to 17 and a half.
I got my hand too close to the gun.
All joking aside, my sister-in-law, my wife's sister on her honeymoon got shit-faced, and they went on a safari ride. There's a safari park up where my in-laws' cabin is now. And they were on this thing, and that you can feed the bears through like a mesh cage with
feed the bears. She stuck her finger through into the bear's mouth, and it bit her finger off. And so now the joke is like, why?
When she says anything and she's trying to pick on you, we'll all just look at her and go, "Oh, so."
Oh, brutal. Yikes, Mike.
Great.
Yikes.
Right, I love my sister-in-law. We did it.
Funny.
If you go find my Japan vlogs, we talk about it in the video, and like she shows her finger, like she lost the very first knuckle. So like, just that
Bear
first
was eating
knuckle.
good, baby. Also,
Bear got it.
Javon in the house, Hinder Collector in the house. What's up, boys? D-Legal, my dude. What is up, man?
No one mentioned. I don't even have a Hinderer in the house. How did Brant show up? Like, who summoned Brant?
He has been summoned by the dark arts.
See, this button lock I can get behind.
What is it?
That's that heretic Medusa of mine.
Oh, it's an auto.
Yeah.
Automatico. I got to tell you, you're gonna really like the that new Churzola ProTech.
Yeah, I know.
I laid the edge back to 17 degrees just to play around with MagnaCut, and it's money, dude. Factory edge was bad.
Well,
was bad.
I mean, okay. I like,
but it took a stupid edge, man.
Not to say anything. I like Dave at ProTech. He's a good dude, but I've never seen a ProTech that really did have a good edge.
Yeah, my Malibu had a poopy edge. I had to lay that one back.
It's just one of those.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, the heat treat on the steel's always great. It's just the edge is never good, right? All you got to do is get past that layer of steel, and it's money.
And sometimes it's not always just the edge grind. They've had a bunch of them that came out when you would look down the tip, you could see that the edge bevels or
uneven.
Full bevels were uneven, like a bayonet grind, and you can see that it's just all wonky at the tip. And you're like, well, guys are like, well, if you sharpen it, can you fix that? And I'm like, no, I could not.
No, sir. Did you get one of the Roxys in to play with yet?
I had the original Roxy, and then I had a Roxy 2.
I wanted a Roxy 4 for so long. I still want one. That was the original one. That was the big fucker.
So I had a Roxy 1, I had a Roxy 2, and I sold a Roxy 3 to my buddy Hiking with a Viking when I was working that.
Well, Roxy 3 just came out 2021. So there was the Roxy 4, which was the first one, and then there was a Roxy 2.
Roxy 2, that's the one I sold.
The Roxy 2 was the little guy.
No, then this was a Roxy 4, big one.
Okay. So it was literally the Roxy. It's so confusing. It's like the Star Wars movies. The Roxy 4 came out first, and then there was the second one that was just called the Roxy. That's what it was. Confusing. And now there's the Roxy 3. It doesn't make any damn sense. But it's good. I like it. Oh, dude. I love mine. I
hadn't had mine out for a while, but I saw Metal Complex's Instagram post.
It's so good. They're so good.
This is probably one of the smoothest. This knife has probably some of the smoothest action of any knife I own.
It's foolish, and it won't. It's so dumb. I don't know why it's so good.
You can make the detent on this one's
so
hard.
Good.
It'll make, like, when I first got this, like, I got tough thumbs, man. I'm a fucking knife
Same.
maker.
I had to break this thing in, dude.
I made my thumbs sore with it. I was like, good God. I have calluses on my thumbs like now. But
Same.
The one that gets people is like, I'll be playing with this, and they're like, and I got friends that are like, what the fuck, dude? How strong are your goddamn hands? And I'm like,
I had to break my wife's in for. I bought her the little one. Yeah. Laugh it up. Yuck it up. I had to break my wife's in for. You know what I'm saying? Woo!
Everybody gets.
I got her.
You should just be careful of the things you say when you're on my channel because.
Yeah. I'm used to it. I'm used to it, folks. It's
probably
fine.
Hear the rusty gears go.
So anyway, I had to break my wife's in for. It's a UTX 70, but it's good now.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of have you ever noticed? Have you ever watched the movie when Jack Palance is in it? Like fucking when he played in Batman, really Carl Grissom, the mob boss.
What's the actor's name?
Jack Palance. You know who he is.
I know. It's one of those guys that
he played the rough cowboy in City Slickers. He played.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever noticed when he's in a movie, he sounds like an old school like wood roller coaster when it first starts? Like when he's talking, his staccato of his voice like damn, dude.
He's just one of those guys that has made a career of being like the second man or the third man. You know what I mean?
What made me think of it? I watched Riff Tracks.
Oh God.
Shape of Things to Come, and I heard him talking. I was like, he sounds like a goddamn roller coaster.
Damn, he was in Tango and Cash.
He
Great
played
movie.
the bad guy in Tango and Cash.
He's like the ultimate bad guy, dude. Damn.
So okay, so we talked about shipping knives. So now, when you ship a knife, like if you're like me, you seal the entire. Like I will go as far if the knife is like.
If there's a gap that air can get in, I tape it up.
Nope. I tape every surface these days. Like I completely tape the entire thing. It's tape all around the flats, everything, and then I put the sticker on top, or I'll put the label underneath and then tape on top of it, like the whole fucking thing. And I don't care. Like here's my take on it. As a knife sharpener, and I'm handling people's stuff, and they're sending me $400 or $500 knives, right?
Right.
And if I use an entire roll of tape on that box, that's still cheaper than me buying them a new fucking knife.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell them, you accept the responsibility of me mailing it to you, but there's a good chance that I would feel bad enough that I would try and recoup some of that cost for that.
So what I've been doing lately, my post office puts out their official priority mail tape that you can use with like the UPS logo, and that's I go all around the edges, all around the tabs, all around everything with that after I've already taped it up. That way it looks a little more official and stuff. But like I said, knock on wood, ever since that one mishap, and even before then.
I don't just do the seams, man. I've started doing now. If it's just like a pair of two or something like that, like I'm not gonna fucking waste an entire roll. But I literally had a couple $300-$400 knives that were in that I shipped out today. I was like, all right, I don't feel like dog ass today. Let me pack these things up. And I like every fucking surface, the whole thing was just cellophane tape. Like if I could have gotten shrink wrap, I would have shrink wrapped the box.
You sitting there with a blow dryer?
Blow dryer, like, hey, if I can get in this motherfucker. So, okay. So warranty. So you're getting ready to deal with quiet carry, right?
If the action doesn't smooth out here in the next week or so, yeah. Because I've fixed all the issues, the big issues, but now it's just it's really stiff. The opening action's really good, but that it used to drop to about here, and then I could just one shake it. Now I gotta really those washers just aren't smoothing out, man.
Typically, that's not gonna happen. Are they brass washers?
Yeah, bronze, Frostber bronze or whatever.
Get a piece of leather and just put a little bit of like stropping compound on it. And
so somebody told me to strop it.
Yeah, strop it. If you send it to me, I've got my diamond strop on balsa. I've done it on Sabenzas for people, and it has a tendency to smooth those out even more. Yeah,
my issue is, as tight as this is, even with that tiny bit of blade play, if I smooth those out, is the blade play going to get worse, depending on how much I'm taking off?
Have you tried just taking apart, cleaning it, and using?
Yeah.
Are you using oil or grease?
Yeah, and when I did that, I used KPL.
Okay. On washers, I tell everyone to use the fluorinated grease. I love KPL as if it's on bearings and shit like that. I do not like KPL on washers. I think fluorinated grease. I've tested it on my Sabenza back and forth. I tried different greases. I tried some stuff. It's called TW25 Bravo. It's a armament lube that is really, really great. And nothing seemed to do as well as the original Chris Reese fluorinated grease and other fluorinated greases in general. I don't like oil on washer knives. It has a tendency it almost forms that vacuum seal.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
You know how when you have the bearing plates, that you can ringing the measurement plates together. Bearing plate.
Yeah.
It almost does that, in my opinion. It's like it forces it out.
Did you see NAF Sergeant's comment? Can we look at that real quick? When shipping, pull up NAF Sergeant's comment. I think you'll appreciate that. It's the only way. It's the only way to ensure a tight seal. You know what I mean?
So the only company I've dealt with warranty, because this is what I was going to bring up, the only knife company I've dealt with warranty is been Microtech. So the same time I got this, I got a whale shark because I was going all out. I'm like, I got this. I got this and I loved it. And I'm like, let me get a whale shark because they're real similar, but the whale shark had a little bit of a different feel to it. And I liked the knife, but it just never felt right, the action and stuff. So I sent it back. And at that time, so this was like 2015-ish.
That was a while ago.
Microtech's warranty,
7 years ago. You believe that shit?
Microtech's customer service at that time was not great. So
They've always prided themselves on that, on the warranty and stuff.
This was at a time where everyone in the knife forums, because it was before there was a lot of knife YouTube channels. As a matter of fact, this was the first knife that was ever on my channel.
Which one is that? That's the
DOC. Capcom Contact.
Yeah. Shane Gables has or had one.
I love this knife. Like, it would never go anywhere. But so, like, they've like, oh, we pride ourselves on our customer service. They do now, and they do a great job of it. But back then, it was a fucking knife. I wrote that knife off. I'm like, I'm never getting a knife back. They had it for literally a year and a half.
Oh my God. And
they sent it back to me and really had not done anything to address the issues. I'm like, good God. Yeah. And so I got rid of it. But, you know, I talked to Tony, and I know most of the guys there now, and they've really, really changed their customer service was an afterthought. Like, they had this warranty, but they're like, we don't have anyone. So it would just be whoever randomly answered the phone or accepted a package.
No matter how bad their day was.
Yeah. So, yeah, Microtech has actually really gotten to a point where their customer service is great. Ken, I am not backed up at all. I sent out everything. I think I have two of Tino's knives that are here for sharpening, and a bunch of his, actually three. I have like 3 knives here for sharpening. So I'm not backed up at all. Hit me up if you want, Ken.
Hit your boy up. Speaking of hit your boy up, I'm going to get something to drink. I'll be right back.
You do that.
Enjoy my beautiful background.
I hate that knife.
Enjoy this stunning background.
The one I sent you a picture of, no better. So, yeah, I've been really lucky, guys. I've never really had to send anything to anyone for, like, I mean, don't be wrong. Like, I had the boys from Fair and Forge here local, so I would take stuff to them and get it fixed. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I broke my Archbishop twice. I broke my my NTAC, broke my NTAC once. Cracked a lock bar on one. That wasn't my fault. That was something that had happened with they got some bunk titanium. It wasn't their fault, so they had to repair a bunch of stuff. Midwest Knife Club. I will not support the Gunny Glide, mainly because, like, I know a lot of people were talking shit about Ryan from KPL, but, like, I know the whole story, and I personally think that Ryan was on the right on that, and Ryan's done a lot. So I am a big proponent of KPL. I do know that the Gunny Glide, their stropping compound apparently is really good. I may try some of that, but, like, really kind of put a bad taste in my mouth with the way they took to social media over something that Ryan was definitely within his rights to approach as another company. Hey, what's up, John? I don't have my bell. So I'm not ringing my bell because I don't feel good. And I tell you the truth, don't want to fucking listen to it tonight. The antibiotics, guys, I don't know if you can tell, the antibiotics have made me gain. I weighed myself. I am super bloated. Like, I saw myself in a mirror. I was like, good God, that stuff makes me bloat up. And I could see it, like, when I was sending you guys videos about my daughter going missing last night. Like, I could see, like, how bloated my face was, and then my eyes were, like, sunken because my face was fat. So
the background kills me.
you look like Mr.
Javon
Bean.
with the 10 bones, man. What do I look like?
You look like Mr. Bean in that.
It's my wedding from my wedding.
Oh, your poor wife. I wore a kimono. I was like, Polly, if Polly was here, he'd be all over me. Like, hey, fucking kimono cowboy. I wore my uniform. I wore 2 different tuxedos and a kimono for my wedding.
I wore that for all of like an hour, and then I was out of it.
Yeah, but you've never seen a Japanese wedding. Like literally,
Not outside of the movies, no.
My father-in-law. Well, so there's the ceremony that is done at the temple with priest and all that, and that is I was in a kimono for that. That was my first kimono. That was my first time in a kimono. No, well,
don't get me started on the second time.
2 separate kimonos for an event. Like I actually wore 2 kimonos, a suit, my uniform, and 2 tuxedos, 2 different tuxedos. At any rate, it's a huge event. Like my father-in-law paid like $1,100 for a lady to come and play a traditional Japanese song that I love on the Japanese harp for one fucking song. I was like, good God, it is an event. And I got so...
I would say so. That is an event. An event.
So I had to do a speech in Japanese. Oh, hang on a second. I got to stop that.
Wakey.
No, it's telling me to take my antibiotics, but I took them before I started the feed.
Take your drugs, kids.
So you go to this thing, and one of these days I'll find a way to take that DVD and play it and show it.
Oh my God. I just want clips taken out of it. Or I want to see photos even. That'd be great.
Oh, I have my wedding photo album somewhere. But at any rate, so you go to this big wedding hall, and I have to make a speech in Japanese. And all this stuff, that happened. I did the speech, but my wife was taking a drug because being Japanese, they have a tuberculosis vaccine that they give the kids. So she's always going to pop positive for tuberculosis.
TB still a thing?
Yeah. Well, don't forget we're in Southeast Asia. There's a lot of
Japan.
Yeah. Japan, there's a lot of parts of Japan that are fucking basically a third world country. So anyway, so she tested positive for tuberculosis because she's a converter. So she had to do this cycle of these meds, and she couldn't drink. This is the whole thing. She wasn't allowed to drink at all for like the 6 months she's taken this. So she was drinking tea during the reception, but during the actual wedding, there's 3 different times that you have to both drink this super, super strong sake. And so they serve it in a glass bowl, and it's I'm not a glass bowl, but a gold bowl, a sake cup, and a gold pot. And it's the only reason is because that's the only thing that'll hold it, because this shit is so strong. I could feel it taking the enamel off my teeth. So you have to drink it. So you have to drink it in
Don't swish.
You have to drink it in 3 drinks because that's tradition. And so they would pour my wife's first, and then mine. Well, my wife was just going through the motion. So every time they pour, then they would pour mine on top. So I've got to drink her shot and my shot. And I'm like, by the time we got done, I was tipsy before we even went to the fucking reception. Now, the way this works is everybody gives these speeches, and then the bride and groom go and change clothes, and then they play music and have some entertainment. And then you come back, and then there's a whole nother round of speeches and stuff like that. But during this, like while everybody eats and while the speeches are going on, the entire fucking everyone, all the guests come up and toast you. And so they'll pour you some beer or pour you some sake or pour you some whiskey. So they toast. And when I sat down at the table where the wife and I sat up on the stage, I looked down, there's a bucket under. I'm like, it must be in case I get sick. Because I knew
sake's going to hit hard.
Right? And so I'm drinking everything that comes up. And when we got done, I was trashed because everyone there, like there was a lot of people there. Everyone there had fucking toasted, and I'm drinking everything. They're pouring glass. And some of my friends went around 3 or 4 times and come up, pour whiskey or pour beer or pour wine or sake.
God, dude.
We got done, and we were supposed to go to the door to tell everybody goodbye and everything. And that's when they give you the envelope with all the money in it they give you for your wedding gift.
Right.
Yes, they give you money. It's like a mafia wedding.
Sign me up. What do they call that? What's that called? Help. There's a term for it.
I can't remember.
A dowry.
Dowry. But at any rate, so we're sitting there, and I got ready to get up, and the little like gopher boy that was supposed to get all the stuff, he was like cleaning up the tables and like
gopher boy.
He goes to grab the bucket. Well, this is when I find out later, like my father-in-law told me, is like, you didn't use the bucket? I was like, nope. And he's like, you are really drunk. The bucket, what you're supposed to do is you take a sip of what they pour you, and when they walk away, you dump the drink in the bucket. That way you don't get too drunk. I didn't use the button. The only thing I did was I had a beer that had gotten warm while we were getting changed, and I poured a little bit. So this dude picks the bucket up and looks at it, looks at me, looks at the bucket, looks at me, and was like, my father-in-law.
Oh, you were supposed to spit it all out?
You're supposed to take a drink and then dump the rest of the glass, and that way.
And you're pounding them.
I just would drink, like, people would pour me like these, they're like a juice glass-sized glass of beer. So they come up with their bottle of beer.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like the little skinny glasses. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like a little juice glass.
But by the end of the day, I mean, you're drinking a case of beer, dude.
If not more.
And like, what was the span of time?
I think so. The actual ceremony was about 45 minutes, and then the reception.
The drinking.
3
People
hours.
bringing. Yeah.
3 hours, and there was like 90 people at our wedding.
Whoo-wee.
And a lot of the Japanese dudes that I worked with got back in line. They're like, "We're
okay." I was about to say, if I was at that wedding, I would have come back with more and more and more.
Once my Japanese friends that I worked with at the ordnance facility saw that I was like drinking all of it, they're like, "Go get back in line. Let's see what happens."
God bless, dude. Jesus.
My friend Aaron was like, "I'm staying here. We're gonna go drinking with your father-in-law," because he was drinking right there with me. He was really putting them down. And my father-in-law rented a bus to take everyone from, like, it's a 2-hour drive. And I'm like, my buddy Aaron Kuzik is like, "No, man, we're going to drink. I'm staying. We're going to drink with your father-in-law." I was like, "Dude, we're both drunk and I'm going home and go to sleep." And he goes, "I'm on drinking." And I was like, "Bro, you got to get on the bus. You took the bus up here." And he goes, "Oh, if I don't care, I'll walk." And I was like, "It's a 2-hour drive."
So see you in 12 hours, man.
I woke up.
Jesus.
Our wedding was on a Saturday. I woke up Sunday, and the wife and I were supposed to go to the bed and breakfast on Monday. And we were getting ready to pack and go up towards a little bit further north to this resort for our like honeymoon. I took like 4 days off. I woke up that Sunday, and my father-in-law comes in, and he opens the curtains in the bedroom where me and the wife were sleeping. And he's like, Mike, Mike, like, Mike was Shinda. I was like, "No, Mike died. Mike died. Mike's not here right now."
Mike's not here right now. Please leave a message after the tone.
It was bad. And then the wife and I drove up to that bed and breakfast, and I got checked in, and then my cell phone rang, and I had to drive the 3 hours back to sign some paperwork because the ordinance officer was on leave, and I was the only other person with signature. And I'm like, and then, so I'm down there. I'm like, well, fuck it. Instead of buying beer where it's expensive, I'll buy some beer on base. And I put it in a styrofoam cooler. And as I'm buying beer in a styrofoam cooler, I'm running to the ordinance officer, and he goes, "Thought you had your wedding." And I was like, "I thought you were on vacation." He goes, "I am." And I was like, "I had to drive down here from my honeymoon because they told me you were on vacation." And he goes, "I am." But he's like, "Oh, somebody's getting a fucking call." He was not happy that I got there. My wife, we had reservations for the hot springs, and I missed them. My wife had to go by herself. It was, he was not happy at that moment with the job.
Fuck your job.
But that's when she realized, like, I told everybody, like, my wife realized real quick that I was married to my job, and she was more like a mistress until I retired.
Mike Imler's mistress.
Come on, bro. You saw how I got when we watched the videos of the shit that I used to do. Like,
oh, dude. I mean, same. I didn't even do it. I just think it's badass.
Right? Like, I told my wife, I was like, if they would take me back right now, I would fucking go.
Sign me up.
Sign me up. So.
Sign me up. What the hell is going on over here now?
Also, Aiden sent me a hinderer to sharpen. And
oh, did he know?
At the very tip, I'm like, how did you get a hollow inside the edge bevel? Like, I couldn't, like, it is very rare that I say I have to stop. I'm like, bro, I can't fix this completely. And what I did was I fixed it enough that I could marry it in with some creative stropping and polishing to make it.
So wait, what did he do to it?
So the edge bevel was really wide, and so I had to fix it to take up all the nastiness of what he had tried to do to thin the edge. And so, but at the very tip, somehow he had gotten like the corner of a stone, like in the edge. So the edge bevel is like this, right? And then you have the main bevel. And so the edge bevel is kind of wide. And in that, it was hollow. Like my stones had hit on the top, on the corners.
Top and bottom, but not the middle.
And I'm like,
of the edge bevel? Just like a tiny little hollow.
I'm like,
Like-
that makes my brain hurt. This makes no sense. It's like wiping.
What sort of witchcraft are you up to, Aiden?
I was like, that's like wiping before you poop. That don't make no sense.
Dude, that's well done, Aiden. I don't know what else to say to that other than well done.
It's kind of what I said. I ruined a 120 grit aluminum oxide stone. Like
Just
ruined it.
trying to finish that out.
Yeah, and I was using it because those cut extremely well. Extremely
really coarse. I have a 120 220 double sided just
aluminum oxide.
Regular old aluminum oxide, man.
Yeah.
Old
So,
school.
but the problem is, how that 120 just comes apart. It's like sandstone.
Yes. Yeah. You literally like 5 passes aside, and you have to like rinse it off and dust it off, and yeah. What are you talking about?
Leave that on there. That's a cutting matrix. It doubles the cutting potential of that stone.
Well, honestly, my 120 only gets 5 passes per side on most of my knives. Do you know what I mean?
Anyway, so I use the Edge Pro stones, right? And they're on aluminum back. I realized I looked down. I was like, I can see through the stone into the aluminum base. Well, that's
in the garbage, dude. Wow. My 120 doesn't see a lot of use because that's like that's my big gun. I don't pull it out very much. I really don't because I haven't needed to. Knock on wood.
I don't very often either, and I won't ever again because, well, not until I order one anyway.
Until you need it, you'll order it when you need it. It's one of those things.
It's shot. I was like, oh,
damn, chewed right through it. Yeah. All those aluminum stones that I have get out of shape pretty quick.
A lot of times, if it's like on a really coarse stone like that, and I'm setting the initial bevel, I don't like that stone. I don't flatten very often because I don't. Like if it's a little bit dished, I'm just trying to take off, hog off material.
Right.
And here's the thing. I'm going to do a convex anyway. That hollowed out part of the stone is just kind of presetting that for me.
Yep. So, like I said, even if I do take a knife to it, it is not for very long. Doesn't need to be.
I'll tell you what I resorted to. I'll show you what I resorted to. This.
You like that, Junior Miz? You like that background, buddy? What is that? It looks aggressive as fuck.
That is a 50 grit machinist stone that they use for knocking big burrs off of machining. And it is...
Jesus. It looks like a brick.
Basically, that's what it is. And
that looks like the coarseness level of an actual brick.
Yeah, but it's silicon carbide, and it's like a 50 grit. And that
Jesus
is what
Christ.
I had to use. That is what I had to use. And it still was tiring and time consuming.
What was the blade steel?
S35VN, but it was a Hinderer, and Hinderer runs their S35VN.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a task, but it
good.
came out
Good
great.
S35, man. It's slept on. The issue is, I feel like the industry got lazy with S35. They just throw it in a batch with 6,000 other blades and call it a day.
Here's the thing. I think it's just been overused. Like everybody uses S35, and don't get me wrong. I have a lot of knives in S35VN, and they're great.
Yep,
but
same.
Other steels, like that's why I'm so stoked about that fucking one that Jared gave me, that Miguron. Like that DC53 steel. This shit is great.
Yeah, and it's a great looking knife too. Like I said, I love what Miguron's doing.
I will send this to you. I'll send this to you with one.
Please do, because I think they're sold out. And I really want to play with that steel. I really want to experience that.
You need to send me your when we're done. You need to text me.
I'll text it to you.
I'm gonna send you.
Ethan, I've played around with both. I have a kitchen knife and a pair of 3 in S45 VN. But I feel like I haven't experienced S45 VN enough to tell you the major difference, other than rust resistance.
It's green, so you can see the dude in the chair.
Look at that. What sort of witchcraft is this?
Ethan. It's green, and
yeah. Honestly, Ethan, the only difference is S45 is a little lower on edge retention and a little higher on rust resistance. That's the difference.
It depends on heat treat, because I have found that the S45 that I have is way better on edge retention than my S35 VN.
Really?
Yeah. The one that I have, that Bark River, and so the heat treat on that, but it's just like everything else. Depends on heat treat. You can't judge it by like one.
Right.
Knife.
I have a Spyderco and then a small batch kitchen knife that was made in the middle of Ohio. So those are my 2 S45s. I figure that heat treat's pretty fucking good on both. You know what I mean?
I don't trust Spyderco's heat treat for shit.
Well,
I don't.
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Spyderco has historically let me down with their heat treat.
Yeah, but you've been doing this a lot longer. Past couple years, they've been okay.
Well, I'd hope for what they're fucking charging people.
Yeah, I'm done. I mean, I don't. I think the only knife from Spyderco I ever paid retail for was the S45 VN pair 3, and it wasn't that much.
I would had that kid offered to sell me that pair of 2 in 10B in that CPM 10B.
I'm excited to play.
Probably would have fucking sold something to be able to buy it. So my plan is I'm going to send you the old school original Archbishop.
It's so pretty. I will scratch it.
We haven't seen, bro. You're not gonna, bro. I used the spine of it to clean battery terminals. I used the spine of it to clean battery terminals on a tractor.
Then I won't feel bad.
Like you're not like I use all of my shit, but it's a 2-tone black ceramic and satin blade.
It's beautiful. I did something about their design language, man. It is technically ergonomics first, right? Their design. All of their design language, but it works and it's so aesthetically pleasing to me. All of it, all of it.
Do you know why it's so aesthetically pleasing? They try so hard to get to a 1-to-1 blade to handle ratio.
Yeah,
like there is literally, if you put your finger in there, I'm touching the edge of the blade if I push the end. All of them are like that. Like the end tack. Look at how little the end tack is. Like you look at it, and you're like, oh okay, and then you snap it open, and you're like, how is there more blade than there is handle?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the ProTech Mordax, man, and it's the best blade to handle ratio on any ProTech I've ever held.
Yeah,
I mean, the tip is right here, dude. The tip is right there, right there.
I'll send you this one. I'll send you.
What's the Buster, or not the Buster? The whatever the big Prolix is. The big Prolix.
Oh, the Master Blaster. I'm not
sending the Master Blaster. The blade was see-through there for a second. That's tripped me out. Is that the one you're sending me?
I will send you this one, but I don't think I'm.
Well, don't you have a different one? I thought you had a different Master Blaster.
No, I only have one.
Oh well, fuck. I want to touch one.
Yeah, I'll send you this one to borrow. But this was my plan. I was going to send you these 3. So I was going to send you my original Horizon D.
Oh, that is definitely one I want to put my greasy sausage mitts on.
I'll send you the Archie, and I'll send you the Miguron.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
So, but
hell yeah.
And you can see there's a theme with what I like about
the fullers, knives. Man. I'm telling you, dude, this knife, and it's a big fucking fuller. Look how big it is.
I like it.
It's so beefy, dude. This thing's, but the weight wise, as big as this knife is money. And that's choil.
I didn't care about anything else. I saw that fuller with that hole in it, and I'm like, oh, I got to see that.
Yeah. I mean, it's money. So like I said, reach out to Lefty tonight or tomorrow, and he'll put you on the list.
I've got like 3 of his knives here. I'll get a hold of him. I'm sure I can get it figured out. I've been talking with the guys that EMP anyway.
You know what? Oh, you know what else you're gonna friggin' love then, dude? Holy shit! Let me pull this up because he just dropped new pictures today.
I'm talking about the cleaver.
I'm talking about Brass Brigade.
Oh, I was just talking with him.
Yeah, dude.
He sent me pictures. He sent me pictures before he posted.
Yes, dude. That full full-length fuller on the production models.
He said he's gonna get me one so that I can put it up, do a video. Oh. I'm not trying, and I told him I was like, I'm not trying to get anything to keep. Same with Tempest knives. I want to see that new Tempest, the one that looks like it looks like the driver's cab of a Thunderbird. One of the
the Mach 51. Yeah. That's Casey Knives Fast's design. Yeah.
I like that because the big front window and small back window. It looks like my uncle's Thunderbird that he.
The hype is so real on this thing, dude.
Yeah, they're great. I love.
They're beautiful. They're just stunning. I love this design and that dude. Everything about this.
He's a nice dude. Like
he's the nicest guy in the freaking world, dude.
Yeah, I've enjoyed.
He's such a nice guy. Love it. Cannot wait. And these are like just around the corner, man.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you.
Oh shit. Well, I just read what it said. Are here next stop, all my favorite knife reviewers. That means mine's probably going to be here next week.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to him. I'm make sure he's got my phone number and stuff. I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you 4 knives, but I'm going to do it in 2 different boxes.
Yeah. Do not send them all at once. We also just got buried in fucking snow here today, so yeah.
I'm going to send them in one box, but I'm probably going to do it UPS.
Yeah. Safest bet. I'm telling you, the safest bet for me where I live is a flat rate box.
Okay.
U.S. Postal Service, only because it fits in my mailbox.
Okay.
UPS will drop it on my stoop, and it is literally 6 steps from the sidewalk.
Like I said, I'm just terrified of losing this one. That's the big
Yeah.
one. Like this was a gift, and this was the last usable blade.
No, there's never been knocking on wood. There's never been any issues of me receiving anything here.
Well, I've never. It seems to be okay out here. God, this thing is smooth.
I want to touch it.
Listen,
I want to touch it in my hands.
Listen.
Put my hands on it.
Listen.
Click. Oh, the closing tink, the detent going home.
Ready? Let me see. Which is my favorite? I can't. I think of all my Ferrum Forges, I think this one has the best sound. Let me get
double
past.
detent. That opening kerchunk is real nice.
Yeah.
Shane Gables. Yeah, dude, we got like 4 or 5. They were like, "Oh yeah, we'll get a couple inches here in Cincinnati." Like 4.5 inches later, we're like, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
Have you handled one of these? Have you handled the Kunwu Tao? Come on, focus up, bitch. Focus up, you bitch.
Oh, Vero, what is that?
It's Kunwu knives.
No, I have not.
Timascus collar, back flipper, full flat ground.
I like the way that looks.
Dude, and it's a big knife too. It's a full size freaking knife. Come on, don't look at my stupid face. But the action on this thing is,
nice.
It's money, dude.
Is it a front and a back flipper?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Like, I know people like front flippers. I like the fact you have. I think that's what I like about the Nimble is there's so many different options.
Yeah. However you feel that day. I got to tell you, the back flipper on this does not work very well, especially if you have bigger hands, because there's for whatever reason, like I always put my finger kind of in the cutout, and it kind of works.
Yeah.
But it's a little awkward.
I have noticed the Nimble. There's been a couple times where I'll hit that.
Really?
I'll hit that flipper and I don't get my finger out of the way, and it'll come back and so it'll get I get my finger in here and I'll bump it, but very rarely. But
like that? Yeah, I never have. You just got to go straight back, and your finger's got to be way back here when you're done.
But
I love this thing
I
so
thought
much.
I was gonna, because that doesn't feel good. Like when I'm up in the forward choil because there's such a gap. But then once I got to playing around with it, I'm like, that's not bad. Actually, I probably wouldn't buy one because, it's like it doesn't fit my hand the way I would like. But it is everything else about it is
you. But you can get a full grip on it, right?
I can. But what I found myself doing most is that pinch grip like this.
Yeah.
And using it for cutting around stuff because it is just about perfect.
Dude, and they did an amazing job on the blade, the cutting geometry and everything like that. Even though it's a flat grind.
When you get well, you're not getting this one. I didn't sharpen this one. So when you guys see the review, there is a spot where it's not sharpened all the way to the apex on the tip. But
I'm sure that's because Lefty's a clown and did something to it.
Lefty didn't sharpen it. Somebody else.
I know he didn't. He tends to overuse the tips of his knives, I've noticed.
I mean, just the tip, just for a second.
Just the tip.
I haven't figured out how to zoom. Like, that would be cool.
So I have a physical lens on my camera, so I can just.
So I can do it on my phone. Like, I was playing around with StreamYard, and if I hold the button and I push, it'll zoom me in and zoom me out like that. But no, I don't have that. I'm on a.
Ooh, I got new toys for the studio today.
What'd you get?
2 new microphones. So I started to do talking unboxings, and the issue I was having, because I wanted to maintain the voice changer, right, when I'm doing the talking unboxings, I had a.
Sorry, wait. I have to. So.
Don't address me right now.
Every time that Polly shows up, like Aiden does this big,
Did you share that video with Polly where he shows up?
No, I
the
didn't.
The 2021 interview, my emotional look at an incredible year.
I did one of those one time, and I was like, I got emotional doing it. I was like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, dude.
I appreciate that. That was fun because that probably was one of the most interesting feeds when I had you and Polly. I was like, look at that dick duster.
Yeah, immediately. I was like, what clip can I pull that sums up this relationship perfectly? And that was the one. I just had to use that one, dude. right as I show up.
Polly shows up, Aiden's like, "Hey, Polly, this and that," and he'll bring up Polly's like YouTube channel for Purple Heart Barbecue and shit. And so it just struck me as funny. Aiden, address me right now.
Where's my link? Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey, Polly, did you see that Shane changed his channel back?
You know what's funny? Ever since you did that, Shane, you're so easy to find. If I search Shane Gables, excuse me. Even if I search Shane G knives, your channel pops up. Like I've searched it like 15 different ways, and your channel always pops up. So it was a good move, brother. It was a good move. Way easier to find your stuff now.
You don't want to do what Brant did and change your name like 30 different fucking times, because then no one.
Oh, love it.
Dude, fucking love it.
The best detent Wee Knives has ever done. It is the best detent they've ever done.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's pretty good.
It's the best one I've ever had. The Laconico.
The pocket clip's a little squeaky.
Really?
Yeah, pocket. But then again,
mine's solid, man.
Look, watch.
Oh, okay. Yours got a lot of wiggle room, dude.
Yeah.
I love front flippers, but because I can do.
That's what I told Ray, because I have the Sirius because I work for Artisan, so they sent me one of the.
I keep meaning to buy one of those. I need to get one.
I'll tell you what. I'll let you borrow mine. When I send the other shit, I'll just send you 6 knives. I'll put 3 in each box.
3 in each box. Load them up, baby.
But yeah, I love every Laconico design, but this
Same.
one, that blade shape is nuts.
And it's so good, dude. It is a slicer.
Yes, you got to be careful. It's sharp because they
did a great job.
Like I haven't measured anything on it yet because all I did was the first day in pockets. But this was in my pocket all day today.
Why is everything I own so dirty? Jesus Christ!
Why
am I so? It's all my sausage.
I mean, I want you to think about how greasy, nasty Cincinnati is. Fucking Jerry Springer was the mayor.
Not for very long.
They elected him. Till he was using city checks.
We don't talk about the dark days here, okay? The Bengals are in the playoffs. We're not talking about the dark times anymore.
Oh.
Can you show that next to the drift? Yeah, the drift is very small, dude.
The
drift is a small knife.
Shane says he loves your channel, but he wishes you were prettier.
Very similar, but it kind of does look like a stretched out drift with a smaller choil.
It kind of does. The drift to me
little piggyback action.
Like I said, the drift looks too much like some of the other knives I have, like the Archbishop or some of those other knives that I already own. Yeah, but
drift is great. It just if knives like this every once in a while, I'll just buy them. Right, that way I get the full customer experience. And they don't need to know I have a YouTube channel. They don't, if it's not a company I've already worked with in the past or talked to or I've done marketing work for, whatever. I like to go in cold.
Yeah, well, that's like I said. That's why I don't look up any specs or anything.
Same. Not a specs guy. I will just kind of go over it in my I couldn't tell you the last time I mentioned blade length in a review. I'll call it a full size or a smaller knife. That's that's my measurement.
I started doing. I kind of wanted to bridge the gap between the way I had been doing the videos and the way Nick Shabazz was doing videos, because I saw the value of getting the stuff out there. So what I just a little bit of specs up front. Like here's the blade length, there's this, is that. And I try to just jam it all in there real quick, and then we talk about what I think about the knife, because there are guys that want to know the specs.
Oh no, that hurt.
I
just rubbed high nicotine content vape juice in my fucking eyeball.
Oh, that's one way of delivering it.
It's not pleasant.
No,
it's not pleasant.
So I had a bottle of a can of.
God damn!
I had a can of pepper spray leak on my hand one time.
Oh, that's fun.
And I rubbed my forehead, and for the rest of the afternoon, I'm like, good God, why is my forehead burned? And I was sweating, but only right there.
Yeah, just the one spot. Capsation was just seeping in, dog.
Polly and I both worked in the armory then, I think, at the time. It was, I think it was a Lockheed Martin type, or I might still have been just active duty. I saw a dude pepper spray another dude's hamburger. He was being a dick. He had it coming.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes my eyes water just thinking about it.
Just like
And it's not just the it's not just the nicotine that I've soaked directly into my bloodstream.
It was one of those like lift the burger, put the bun back down, watch him eat it.
But that is all it takes, dude. I mean, it's pure capsaicin. There's no like, what's the number on it? 50 million Scoville units. Like hell.
Fucking
the 10, Satan's armpit. Like fuck.
10%. Have you seen those guys eat the Satan's toe candies?
Dude, I've heard about them. I think I have. There's this guy on TikTok that just buys. He'll just Google what's the world's hottest, and then he'll go out and buy it and then eat it.
Oh God, I just can't. Like that chip was enough. Like, but that chip was pretty bad, but it definitely jumped up my fucking tolerance like that. Like I ate the chip, and now I'm like I eat habaneros all the time now. And I typically don't like.
But a good habanero, dude, is a pretty well balanced pepper. It tastes great. It's got a nice sweetness to it that kind of offsets the crazy spice.
Yeah. Well, I like the flavor of habaneros, but I also find them to be sometimes a little too spicy. Like I like a comfort zone, but then again, I like serranos. Serranos
can get angry. We were talking about jalapenos last time.
Yeah,
serranos. How fucking jalapenos will just sneak up on you, dude.
It depends on who grows them and how much sulfur's in the soil. Yeah, I was getting ready to say that like NAF Sergeant hit it right on the head. Like the chip was bad, but the next morning, like I woke up and I'm laying in bed and I was like, oh God.
I am not going to fucking make it.
And then I hear, I'm like, oh no.
Oh God. Oh Jesus.
No.
God. Yeah, I love serranos. I love all peppers. All peppers are my friends.
I was getting ready to say that. I like to take a serrano and split it and like cut it in and leave the seeds and shit in and then just put it in a turkey sandwich.
Oh yeah.
A little bit of mayonnaise.
Great. Oh. It was funny. Me and my wife were having a conversation the other day. She loves vegetables, right? She was vegan or vegetarian for a while. Right. Ha ha ha.
You had to see that one coming.
But we were talking, and it got to a point where she was like, so you just don't like vegetables? I was like, no, I like vegetables. And she's like, name the vegetables you like. I was like, romaine lettuce, onions, potatoes count too, right? And I was like, tomatoes are technically a fruit, but I like those. And then all the peppers. And she's like, so you just don't like vegetables? It's like, you got me.
You know what?
Guess I don't.
I had to go to the grocery store today because I there's some stuff that I just don't buy because I don't eat a lot of bread with the wife and kid being gone. I drink milk and shit like that, but I needed milk and I needed half and half because the wife drinks a lot of tea and she puts half and half in her tea, British tea, like green tea, no, but and coffee. And so I got those things and I was walking by and I realized that I had this overwhelming urge for some green vegetables. And I bought some fucking broccoli and I brought it home and steamed it for my lunch. I had steamed broccoli with garlic and salt. That was it. And I bought a big thing of salad. I was like, God, I want a fucking salad.
Sometimes salad's great.
Yeah, I
like all vegetables if they're hidden well within a salad and then covered in salad dressing. Just floating in it. Just swimming around.
I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of times I'll just have
Sorry, Shane. Forgive me. Shane's in love with my wife.
I'll have a little bit of salad. I'll make a salad and just put a little bit of, I don't even use dressing. I use, you know, the Japanese soy sauce with citrus? Ponzu?
Yes.
Or a shredded cabbage salad with ponzu as the dressing. It's delicious.
And like a little lemon zest to top it off. Ooh, mama.
It's just shredded cabbage and ponzu.
It's good stuff, dude.
Citrus flavored, yeah.
Man, when I lived in Mason, we had like a real Asian market up the street, dude, where nothing was in English. Like you walked in Mason, Ohio, right? Middle of nowhere, Mason, Ohio. But there's a huge Asian population in Mason, right?
There is. That's
because Procter and Gamble's, not their corporate headquarters, but their main like research lab and chemistry department is there. So all these super smart people come from Asia to live in Mason.
I tried to tell my wife that when I was telling her we moved back to Ohio because it's so much cheaper. Because no Asian market. I was like, babe,
dude, Mason, Ohio, man.
Businesses,
I'm telling you, dude,
that have their offices there, and they hire super intelligent people, which means they're not hiring them from Ohio.
Yeah, Procter and Gamble. I mean, every single person watching this, and every single person that will ever watch this, has 50 products in your house right now. Made by Procter & Gamble. Your soap, your paper towels, your toilet paper, your trash bags, Febreze, everything you own is made by Procter & Gamble, dude.
And their big headquarters is in Ohio.
Cincinnati. It's fucking 10 minutes that way. Their
Isn't
Twin Tower
Mead-
headquarters.
Isn't Mead? Mead is in Cincinnati, aren't they?
I know Northrop Grumman and General Electric's propulsion division is here. Is like 10 minutes that way.
Like if you buy your kids a notebook and it says Mead on it, go
Ohio.
look at where it's at. It's from Ohio.
Dude, we were a manufacturing powerhouse. We still kind of are, honestly. And every insurance company's based here. Progressive, fucking Grange, Hanover.
Aflac's in Georgia.
Every interesting insurance company.
Aflac. I'm not gonna lie. Aflac is
Nationwide's headquartered in Columbus.
I'll tell you,
big ugly Soviet Union building they worked in.
Ed,
Double D, what's up, man?
Yeah,
my dude.
Oh, you're just getting here, Double D. Wow. Shit.
I love, dude. That was that my first ever live stream, Double D? You'll have to remind me. But we were talking about what knives like 90s cartoon characters would carry, like Johnny Bravo and Ed and Eddie from Cartoon Network.
Johnny Bravo would have a big fucking Cold Steel.
Yeah, and then we decided for Johnny Bravo, we decided the Rayot Jack 2.0 with the comb attachment. That's what we decided, or the Microtech beard comb.
I was getting ready
for the hair. Geico, yeah, everybody's based here. Double D, but anyway, he popped into the chat while we were talking about this, and I was like, holy fuck, Double D from Ed, Edd n Eddy, he's here. He's really here. And then he changed his picture to Double D from Ed, Edd n Eddy. It was great. It was a great moment.
That's what Double D would carry.
Yeah, we literally decided on a multi-tool. 100%.
Both the blades would be broken off of it.
Yeah, they'd be like butter knife tips. The tips would be broken off. For sure, dude. Yeah, first ever historic. It absolutely was a historic live.
Was that the one I wound up in at the end? Because I smoked a bunch of double lettuce, and you're like, oh, well, you're probably just about ready. The one that had me and you and John and somebody else. Me, you, and
no, I think that was second or third. My first one ever. I think I went solo. No, I think you're right. I think I did have a bunch of people join in on that one. I think you're right. I'll have to go back and look. I don't know.
It was me and you and John from Grateful Panic, and I forget who else.
Was that the one where John? No, was that on? Yeah, that was the one John was driving around.
John was driving around, fucking delivering food. That was great. And I was baked, and you kept going, well, let's check back in with John, and I would start laughing like it was a.
Hold on, I'm pulling it up. I don't remember. I think I went solo for a long time on the first one. I went for 4.5 hours though.
That was the one because it was late here, and I was like,
yep. That's the one where John was in his car at the end. Oh, I need to pull those clips and use those. Yeah, Ethan Ruins EDC joined us. Eggs and Ham joined us. Yeah,
it was me, you, Eggs and Ham,
yeah, dude,
and John for a long time, and I was toasted.
That's so funny, dude. I totally forgot. Oh, I posted my unboxing of the Terzola.
I saw post some stuff about it. It's a good looking knife.
It's gorgeous. I mean, for me, a ProTech, I have so many ProTech automatics. Like, I don't need any more, and that's why, like, the SBR and the Rock Eye, I skipped out on those. Because Derek at ProTech, if I ask him, he'll get me something early, right? We're both big fountain pen nerds. We talk all the time about fountain pens.
Yeah, I think
this one, the looks, I couldn't say no to the tuxedo look, dude.
That's a good looking knife, man.
It's a great knife. This just screams ProTech.
The first time you showed it to me, I was like, you can pick the Terzola genetics out of that one. That one is.
Oh yeah,
especially
the titanium clip.
Yeah, when you look at that sculpted like pocket clip that's somewhere between a bent clip and a milled clip, it's great.
Took a great edge. I think I left it at 800 grit. It's a little dirty, but it polished up really well on the strop.
800 grit is a good edge. One of the things
I found that MagnaCut likes a little bit of tooth. It likes a little bit of toothiness. You can't go crazy on the super high grit stones. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. So when you get this Miguron,
it's nice and shiny. It took a nice edge.
So like I said, this is 8,000 grit, and it's terrifyingly aggressive. Like I took this all the way to 12,000 grit, and it just did not lose its tooth. You're like, good God.
Yeah, I've had D2 blades that have been treated really well that will go. I've taken them up to 8,000 grit, and they're just like, sure, why not?
This reminds me of 14C, but it sharpens easier. Like
and it'll hold its edge longer too.
Yeah, and that's what I was seeing. Like I was looking at it. So they say it's easier to mill and work than it is than D2, but it holds its edge longer. So that's one of those things. Like I like
how they pull that off. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, because there's a difference. There's a difference between wear resistance and toughness.
Right.
Edge retention goes along with the toughness. Everybody's like, oh, it's the wear resistance. No, wear resistance to cutting. The toughness is how it's going to hold and maintain that apex.
Right. Wear resistance is basically how many carbide drill bits you're going to go through. How many carbide end mills you're going to go through if you're machining hardened steel.
Yeah, when you're talking about like the toughness is where like this.
How many grinding wheels you're going to go through? How many belts you're going to go through, right?
But it sharpens so easy. And then you have the ones like S125V, which is a nightmare to grind. It's a nightmare to sharpen. But like I said, I've made knives for Tino out of it. I made one for him when we first moved into this place. I did it on my grinder out in the yard and I sharpened it for him and it took forever. And that's been coming up on a year and I still have yet to sharpen it. People are like, oh, he just doesn't carry it. I'm like, no, he uses it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
It just doesn't get dull. But you could, like I said, that was it above 67 because after heat treat, you could score glass with it.
Yeah, that's nonsense. That's just not necessary.
That's what he wanted. when it comes out of heat treat and you're done, you're like, and it's tempered. So that means that the Rockwell went down a little bit. And you take a beer bottle and you're like, oh God, I can score glass with this. And then you realize you still have to grind that. You're like, oh.
Yeah. And that's when you're like, fuck me. This is going to cost me an arm and a leg and belts, dude.
It cost me an arm and a leg and a belt. Who the fuck do you think is paying for those belts?
Right. I know. It's crazy.
I'm not. The guy who wanted the knife it's above 67 Rockwell in S125V is the one paying for them fucking belts.
Yep.
It definitely does eat into your profit margin, though.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cost of doing business, baby.
S145V. Once again, Ethan, you asked earlier. I have no idea. I've never messed with S145V.
Yeah. I mean, Rex 45, and isn't there Rex 121?
Rex 121 and Maximet are basically the same. They're like analogs. And that's a steel that's the only steel. Like I've started sharpening it again. I did that one here not too long ago. I will sharpen it, but it's not a standard $25 sharpen. I'm telling you that.
No.
It's extra. Like, okay, so
have you ever done a Rockstead?
Yeah, I just sharpened a Rockstead not too long ago.
How's that to sharpen? Pretty.
It's like sharpening another. So it depends on the steel. Like I've sharpened a YXR at, I think that's at 65 or 66. Okay. And I've sharpened their ZDP that is at like 67 or 68, something like that. The thing is, they're neither one hard to sharpen. It's one of those things when like that hardness and edge toughness not necessarily equates to like how hard it is to sharpen. S90V, probably one of the best steels for edge retention, actually easier to sharpen than some of the harder S35VN. Definitely easier to sharpen than S30V.
Yeah, we talk about it every time I come on, dude. Everyone's really afraid of S110 and S90V, but they both sharpen really well. They're not that big of a pain in the butt. Everyone's like, oh no, I don't want to mess with it.
I think S110 is a little bit harder to sharpen than S.
It's a little more finicky, but that's it. It's just a little more finicky.
Now, but I will say that when you start getting into that weird shit, like when you start hitting like S125V, like when you're getting up and
there's a big jump.
There's a big jump. Like it's a nightmare. So I would imagine S1 or S145V is something I don't want to fuck with.
Yeah.
But then again, it's all based on heat treat.
Right.
Like some steels you'll have that are great at this heat treat, but then if you get off by just a little bit,
it's either mushy or it's chippy. It's one or the other. You know what I mean?
Well, that's S125 is one of those ones. You got to be like spot on.
Yeah, dead on. Well, I think that's why a lot of big production companies don't use it, because outside of like a small batch environment, it just doesn't work. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, the most I ever did was 5 blades, but if I was doing S125, I would only do 1 because like you got to get it out. You got to quench it quick. And then you've got to get it into temper. And that temper has to be specifically 800 degrees for 2 hours. Take it out till it's cold to the touch. put it back in 800 degrees for another 2 hours.
Damn.
Like you gotta be really, really, if you do
On the money.
if you do 900, like I literally fucked up a piece of S110V or a S125V because I didn't check it and I ran it at like 950 because the heat treat oven was set for it. And Elliot's like, you need to throw that away. You ruined it. I was like, what?
Put it in the
like
garbage.
I was like 150 degrees off. He goes, if you were 50 degrees off, you probably ruined it. He's like, it's
Damn.
specific.
Damn.
Like 2200 degrees. As soon as you hit 2200 degrees, you pull that packet out and you quench it between 2 aluminum plates. And then as soon as you can get it in the oven at 800 degrees, because there's so much stress in that blade.
Yep.
Like, it's like I've had them crack on the aluminum plate while I was waiting on the oven to get to 120 or get up to 800. I'm like, wow. So I preset, we had 2 ovens. One was set for lower temperature temper, and one of them was set for the high temperature heat treat.
You got to have the toys. You got to have the tools for the trade, man. Oh, speaking of which, I never finished my story about the new microphones.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, the R2 squirrel brains get together. It's a nightmare. It's my own fault.
It's an Ohio thing.
Yeah. Oh, anyway, how are the kids? Oh, I got a dog now. Oh, yeah. Anyway, sweet. I got this nice here. I'll just show you one. They're these little, I don't know if you can, it's this little cute little pencil mics. They're like shotgun mics, right? But I can get left-right stereo audio for my unboxings and stuff.
Oh,
and,
nice.
It's really ASMR-y. You get every click, every clack. Like, you can hear me touching, like, rubbing my finger across the scales and stuff.
I probably won't watch that.
It's pretty sensual.
You know what?
Pretty sensual.
My biggest problem with watching Good Mythical Morning is I can always hear Rhett chewing. And I'm
you can't handle, like, mukbang videos?
Well, no, I just don't like fat. I just don't like watching fat people shove food in their head. Like that Nick avocado dude. Like
I hate that guy. I fucking hate him.
I'm like, at first I was like, oh, that poor guy. Like, and then I realized what he was doing. I was like, fuck that dude. Like, I don't really eat much and I'm getting fat. This dude's getting paid to fucking destroy his life on public, in a public domain.
He makes a lot of money doing it too, man.
I think I'm gonna have to start because I've got the echo just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
I have so much studio foam, audio treatment, carpets, these big tarps, and like everything in this office is made to absorb sound.
But I don't,
because I built it as a recording studio for music, right?
Yeah, but
so it had to be a dead room. I haven't
changed anything, and it just keeps every video. There's more echo. I'm like, where is it? Why is it getting worse?
You need one of these.
Well, I have a wireless lapel mic for my phone. I'm gonna try using it again, but I didn't like the way the audio sounded when I used it before.
Interesting.
It sounded really tinny and
really.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a wireless thing. It plugs into my phone, and then it's got its own little box that goes on your belt. Like I got a nice one.
Yeah.
Nathan, yes. My take is if I was to make the sea snake a folding knife, you basically would have this. And I don't know. I don't really like the idea of a folding sea snake. I don't know.
Nathan, look at the Prolix, man. It's a great budget option.
Yeah. Prolix, but I always said that, like, by the time I would get around to making the sea snake into a folding knife, you'd wind up with this Les George collab. Yep. God, this is such a good knife.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And
even with the crazy Dragon Emperor scales on him.
No, that is some of the Geiger-esque, like, alien. Elliot knows I love the movie Aliens. I like all the Geiger artwork. Well, even before that, like when he was doing covers for Omni and things like that, before I ever saw the movie, he had done all kinds of art and he got contracted to create the alien. And so he was doing shit like this before that movie. And I was like, okay.
You're talking about the concept artist, right?
Yeah. The guy
Sorry. The name didn't click at first. I'm sorry.
So he is this real Green Screen Kings? I can't believe anything that is happening here. It's all fake.
Fake news. It's all fake. Okay, it's fake news.
Let's see here. We can here. Let's relocate to a better venue. Is that better, guys? Is that better? Now we're in my house.
I feel like I'm on like a Zoom meeting for work right now.
This is a Zoom background. I stole it. Ken, I just told you how backed up am I with sharpening. I told you like an hour ago when you asked. I'm not at all. Feel free, get in touch with me. Send that stuff in. What are you changing yours to?
I don't know. I'm just looking. You know, I'm feeling frisky.
I'm at the schoolyard, my neighbor's house. Hey, out at Zion National Park, at the beach. There you go. This is the one I was telling you about. That live feed one with the broccoli head.
Yeah. Easy enough.
Yeah, that's one I want. But this is a good one. My Howls.
Welcome to Howls. Welcome. There's no good pictures, man. I want to you know what? I'm just, I'm feeling frisky.
Man, Shane's got a thing for your wife, man. I think you just maybe send him like a what do they call them? A restraining order.
She's
that went from cute to restraining order in like no time at all.
What the hell? It's all right. I get it. It's fine. She's a looker, man. Shane, you should go look at my most recent story. She's posed seductively in the background.
God, Jesus Christ. It's fucking don't tell him that, because then you go to Shane's house with blacklight and look at Jackson Pollock thing. And the fact that my hillbilly ass knows who Jackson Pollock is.
Yeah, you gotta love Jackson Pollock. He's
Yeah.
He's a weird one.
Yeah. Put up the Pikachu.
Oh God, you guys want the buff Pikachu? Is that what you want?
Yeah. I want to see this.
It won't. There we go. What do you think about that? It's pretty good, isn't it?
Oh, that's funny.
You can buy these on Amazon. They're like figurines. They're all just jacked Pokemon, like all of them. It's hilarious.
Oh, so I don't want to spoil this surprise for everyone, but I think I have a plan. It's probably going to piss some people off. But I have a plan to have a live feed that is probably going to have more viewers than anyone, and I'm going to hype it up, and I'm going to put up posts and stuff, and hopefully I don't get a cease and desist. But check this out. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Oh no. Oh God.
Yeah. Oh no. So you guys know I told you that there's only like one channel that I actually support financially. And it's just because I just can't afford to do it, but I've done it for a long time. I am a 3rd degree Mythical Society member.
Yeah. How about that?
I usually don't even redeem the merchandise that they send out, but you get free merchandise every quarter, and it's always something limited, and it's only for the 3rd degree, like the top tier members, paying members. And it's not much. I think I pay like maybe $50 a quarter.
Okay. So like $5 a month.
I have the Rhett and Link plushies, and wait.
They give out a lot of swag.
Wait. So my plan is I'm going to have my daughter hold these and have the camera, and I'm going to hype it up for like a week. Then I'm going to have my guests, Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning, and have my daughter do the thing. And then,
You know what time it is.
and just have her keep doing that.
Dink it and sink it.
Yeah, so you can, if you get it lined up, you can make this one say dink it and this one say sink it. You gotta sync them together. But yeah, that's my plan. And I'm thinking that's either a bunch of people are gonna come on and be like, all right, that's funny, or a bunch of people are gonna be like, fuck you. You bait and switch cocksucker.
How dare you? How dare you play us like this? Dude, really? There's nothing?
what
I
knives will Rhett and Link carry? Well, if you watch the show, you know that Link it shouldn't have a fucking knife. But I thought about
Red always takes it away.
I thought about sending them sea snakes, just for fun. In my opinion, they would carry sea snakes.
Just label one for Rhett and the other one not for Link.
What I'll do is I'll send one sharp, and then I'll take a stone and just take the edge completely. I'll just run the edge on the grinder, so it's just like a butter knife.
Problem solved. Problem solved.
And then just put a cork on the end of it. Like, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have one older brother. Yeah.
You have one older brother. So there's a movie that my sister, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that movie? So there's certain movies that my sister and I will like take little quotes from. And our favorite movie ever is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels with Steve Martin and Michael Caine. And like
Michael Caine.
So my sister and I, every once in a while, just out of nowhere, one of us will be watching it and you'll get a text that says, "Oh, Oklahoma." And then whichever one of us does it, the other one is responsible for responding with, "Rupert, don't make me get the genital cuff." Like, it's just a thing that you have to do.
Dude, I haven't seen that movie in so long. Damn. It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute since I've seen that little flick.
I own it. I own it on Amazon. I watched it. But you know what my go-to, if I've been smoking the devil's lettuce, like if I've gotten into the jazz cabbage, my go-to, I have like a couple movies that are like go-tos. One of them is The Warriors, the ones where they have to go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Great movie. That's a go-to. Like, I watch that like 5 nights a week if I've been token. The other one is the old original Death Race 2000 with Sylvester Stallone and
oh,
David
yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's such it's a hand grenade, and it's like,
God, dude.
Is that
what's my favorite? Oh God, what's my favorite Schwarzenegger movie? Running Man. It's one of my favorites.
Running Man. Yeah. I own that too. I own that on digital media. And then there's some movies that I own. Like, there's some movies I like so much I own it on multiple platforms.
Oh God, just in case.
Just in case I can't get to my PlayStation, or I can't, like, I own it on DVD, I own it on Blu-ray, and I own it on digital, and I own it Apple, so I can download it right to my phone.
Dude, this is really annoying. I'm like looking for a good image of like a news desk with like breaking news over my head, but I can't find one. Makes me sad. They're all like Shutterstock. You got to pay for them. It's bullshit. Fuck the internet.
I gotta tell you, there's some movies that you got to be careful watching if you've gotten into the jazz cabbage.
There's a lot of movies, as a matter of fact.
You got to be careful. Like, you don't want to watch Grandma's Boy.
What a great movie, though. What a great movie, though.
Oh, it's such a good movie.
You don't like techno? You would if you had robot ears. It's such a good movie, dude.
I like is this the devil? I'm way too high to drive to the devil's house, kid.
God, dude. Movie's a masterpiece.
It's
a
so
true
good.
gem. A true gem.
Or when he pulls I'm not gonna lie, I almost pulled a Grandma's Boy the other night. I think I sent you a picture of it or a video of it. I almost didn't even think about it, opened up the toaster oven and almost grabbed the tray with no gloves. And I'm like, what the fuck am I thinking? It's like 350 degrees in there.
I do that shit like 3 times a week, dude. I'm like, I'll just pull it out real quick. I'll be fast. I feel like I can beat the heat. I think it's a man thing.
When I was making knives all the time, I could. Like, if it was like 250.
Because your fingers were fried, dude.
Well, there's just no. And I mean, this hand still, I can still do it. But if it's above 250, 270, I can't do it. Like Tino, I was at Tino's house and he's like, hey man, I can't find the oven mitts. You come pull this out of the oven for me? And I was like, what's the temperature at? And he's like, it's about 250, 275. I'm like, I should be good.
I got you.
And I went and I grabbed it, and his friend Barry was there, and he's like, did that dude just pull that fucking thing out at like 300 degrees? He's like, he makes knives. Grandma's Boy, high score. Dude, that chick that played his boss in that movie was so fucking hot.
She was.
She played
What's
Velma.
her name? Yeah. Yes. No.
Yeah, she played Velma in the Scooby-Doo. Yeah, she did. She played Velma in the Scooby-Doo, and Sarah Jessica Parker played the blonde chick.
Linda Cardellini.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Old School. Old School is another one. Yeah, you got to be careful with Old School. Have you ever watched my favorite movie ever? Like now, I found a movie that is like my favorite movie ever. Is called Everybody Wants Some. It's
It's a baseball movie.
Yeah, you
Great
had
movie.
You
Love
had
that movie, dude.
And I heard that Linklater, the guy that directed and wrote him, Richard Linklater, he had 3 movies planned, and it was going to be the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and it was going to be like they were all like spiritual successors to each other. So you had Dazed and Confused, which was the 70s kids in Texas. Then you had the 80s kids playing baseball, early 80s, and like disco. And then you would have the kids coming out of college into like the workforce right out of college was going to be. Yep. And I haven't heard anything about that third one, but those 2 have been fucking great. Dead Heat with Treat Williams and Joe Piscopo. That's another good movie.
Everybody Wants Some was violently slept on. So many people have not seen or heard of that movie, and it is a fucking American gem. It is such a great, great movie.
So everybody that knows me before I got married, when I was out, I would sleep with anything that wouldn't get out of my way. Like just trying to rack up numbers because it was just fun on a Friday night. Everybody that watches it with me, when Finn starts talking and fucking doing shit, they would turn and they're like,
Finn is the best part of that movie, dude. So
they're like, bro, that's you. And I was like, what? And then it gets to the part where like, oh, Finn is in his average cock mode. And then they go, yeah, that's definitely fucking you. That is you. That's a good one too. Better off.
Forgot about Everybody Wants Some, man. That's such a good movie. 2016, 2 hours of just pure bliss. What a great movie.
Great. And you know what? It's always a good movie. You know it's a good movie, and you're like, I don't want it to fucking end. So when they're at the very end, I'm like, no. I want to see the whole week. Just make it like 8 hours long. I don't fucking care. I'll watch it.
It was a horrible flop in the box office. It was a small budget, but they only got made back 50% of it. But God, it was good.
Thank you very much. I can't see how many likes there are, but if you guys have not liked it, I mean, it's 2 hours and 31 minutes. There's still 35 people here, so you probably should have hit the like button by now.
35 watching, baby.
35, 2 hours and 30 minutes in. Not as good as I think. As much fun as we've had on all of our live feeds and the traffic we've gotten, I don't think anything's going to beat that one when Pete. We had like 600 views.
Wow.
On that one live, and then I think it's like 700 views now. So, Dazed and Confused. I like to get a little bit of the weed juice in me, and fucking look back, and I'll set it up so that I watch Dazed and Confused, and then I watch Everybody Wants Some. And then I like at the end of the night when I'm like, oh, the edibles are like, I just can't take it anymore. Then I'll find something relaxing on YouTube and just kick back and watch like carpet cleaning videos.
Yep. Carpet cleaning videos.
I'll send you a link
to
like
vacuum.
The most relaxing channel. Like he doesn't even talk. It's like AMSR. He fucking scrubs carpets. You see all the dirty water come out. He uses fucking scrubber. He uses power washer. And I'll just sit back and be like, good God, look at that.
Those machines are like $6,000. I want one so bad. I do professional automotive detailing as a side gig through the spring, summer, fall.
You know, this dude just sprays water on it and comes out with like a buffer.
It's called. Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
I'm talking like he's like area rugs. I'm not talking like he comes to your house. I'm talking about like he does area rugs. It's all he does. It's LCC. That's the name of the channel.
I've seen his stuff on TikTok, dude. It's violent.
Dude.
It's violently satisfying.
It's a Polish dude called, and his channel's
it's all like
called
vintage ass rugs and shit. So he has to be like really careful with them, but he'll just fucking clean the fuck out of them. It's so satisfying.
He has this thing like I'll see it and like he's never not answered a message that I put on it. He has hundreds of thousands of viewers, and every time I put something, he always comments back. I was like, because he has a thing that's called the counter rotating brushes, and he'll put the soap on it and he'll spray it, and then he'll clean it, and it just looks like a bubble bath. And I'm like, ooh. And when I see, like, I'll comment when I see him get the hose out to add extra water to it. I was like, ooh, the CRB's coming. And then you get a thumbs up and shit.
Dude, stuff like that is so satisfying to me.
I think, you know what I want to watch? The Great Outdoors with John
That's a good
Candy. And
Oh.
yeah, it's a good one.
I love John. R.I.P.
If he gets the gristle and fat down, do we get a couple of shirts and hats for the kids?
You gotta love that, man.
Yeah, that was a good one. Canadian Bacon is on Amazon Prime right now. Do you get Chad Pete? Yeah, Pete, that was a lot of fun. Having Pete on was a blast. I think I'm trying to get I'm gonna try and get Shane. I'm gonna try and get Shane from We Knife Company to come on and talk about what's going on with We Knife Company. And then we're trying to figure out a time to get Birdshot to come on. And who else have I talked to? Oh, I want to get Bastian from Bastinelli Knives on. He's
Which
a
one?
lot. Bastian from Bastinelli Knives, the owner.
Mm.
He's a crazy Frenchman. I dig that dude.
Yes, I would like to tell you about my knife.
When we were at Cali Custom Show, he was showing me, like, we brought back the big one that we made a few years ago. He's like, this is the knife that got me kicked out of France. I'm like, what? He's like, they say if you make a knife like this, you probably shouldn't do it here. I was like, what? And he
Love
goes,
it.
yeah, so we moved
Love
to
it.
Florida. We moved to Florida.
Love it.
Strange Brew I have on Blu-ray, not Blu-ray, on DVD. And there's some movies that I prefer to watch on DVD, even though the quality is not as good. Do you guys remember when you would put in a DVD and the menu would come up and there'd be all the animation and it'd be a lead in? It was
The
like
music
a movie.
would be playing. It was great.
Yeah, music would be playing and it would log and the doors would open and then it would bring up the menu. That's why I have I own Big Trouble in Little China on digital.
Oh, love that movie.
But I have the
love that
DVD
movie.
out here because I like the fact that, like, when it opens up and it'll do that for a little bit. It'll just keep
And you got the
playing.
special features and like the behind the scenes and all that good stuff. It's great. Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
It's the special
Dude,
edition.
the elevator scene always kills me.
This is the 2 DVD set. It has a whole DVD of special features.
Yeah,
And
you
then
gotta love it. The good old days, you know what I mean? Ooh, Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked Comes This Way.
Something wicked this way comes.
Whatever.
I hadn't seen this. I hadn't seen this in years. I had to buy this from an international vendor because it's out of print. You cannot buy this DVD. It's nowhere on any of the, like, streaming services libraries.
Interesting.
Harold and Kumar, yeah. Have you all watched The Righteous Gemstones on HBO? I don't have cable. I don't have cable, but I did get a notification that the dude.
I have HBO Max, dude. I bet you a lot of the movies that you've been looking for, HBO Max has shit that, like, has been out of print since, like, the 90s, dude. It's great.
I'm not paying for another fucking streaming service.
Yeah, I have a lot. It's bad.
Well, the only reason that I have Disney Plus is because my friend has basically his carrier gives it to him. It's part of their package for his cell. So he has 2 separate accounts. He has a business line and he has personal line. So he didn't need the second voucher for his Disney Plus. So I have Disney Plus for free. And then I got Paramount Plus because I wanted to be able to watch. There was certain stuff on Paramount Plus. And I was
Paramount Plus is great. Paramount Plus is a great service.
Well, I was going to get rid of it, but now they're doing the Halo show, the Halo series that's coming. And I'm like, yeah, I got to fucking watch that. What is this? Wheel of Time on Amazon. You know, it doesn't even, that's one of those ones that doesn't appeal to me.
I don't know if I'm familiar.
Special features on the Eternity edition of Lord of the Rings is like twice the length of the movie. Oh, the extended version. Did you see there's an extended version?
I fall asleep to the extended versions all the time.
Well, the Hateful Eight, like, I liked that movie, but it was fucking long.
I love that movie.
fucking
I have the
extended
Samuel L.
version.
Jackson poster from the movie theater right here.
Like I'm like, they were like, oh, the extended version. I'm like, the what?
You gotta nail it shut. Nail it shut. I love that movie.
I'm like,
It's a
what
great
the
movie. Yeah, the extended edition's like 3 2.5 hour episodes or whatever, some shit like that. It's like 9 hours long.
God?
It's crazy.
I don't have that kind of fucking time in my life. Oh,
But it's
oh,
what?
So you remember me talking about these? You're gonna
Yeah,
get a
dude.
quick listen.
Love
So
those.
this is the 1942 cabinet. I got notified. I'm getting a limited edition Missile Command cabinet, but it's the original one that had. So you remember when? No, you don't remember when Missile Command first came out. I forgot how much older I am than you.
Dude, but I played a fuckload on my, 1999 Dell PC.
Well, yeah, but so they had these cabinets that had the Missile Command game.
Yep.
But it had this screen up above that had all these status lights and shit, and they got rid of it because it distracted the players and no one liked it. They came out with that, and I have a picture of it. So I'm getting it. They're sending it to me because I was one of the first people that reviewed the cabinets.
Wow.
It's
Beautiful.
the one right. It's the one right here.
Dude,
It's
so we had a bar here called 16-bit, and it was free to play every arcade game ever made. And they were all like, I'm talking maybe 150, 200 arcade cabinets, all originals. And you free to play. You walk in, you play them. It's amazing.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of times that if you come over to my house, if I'm not filming, there's a lot of times I'm not even watching TV. I got my reading glasses on, playing 1942
On a screen this big.
and I have the Asteroids cabinet as well. Did you get to see that one?
You're an animal.
Oh, here, check it out.
310 to Yuma is a great movie, dude. I haven't seen that in a minute. That's got Christian Bale, and Russell Crowe. It's a good one. It's adorable.
Hang on.
I love it. I just love it.
So these are fully playable fucking versions. This one even has a
The little coin thing. It's
coin
so
door.
funny. It's adorable.
but this one,
They run on a Raspberry Pi.
yeah, they run on a Raspberry Pi, but you can see like it actually comes up. It's playable because I have all the high scores.
Oh, imagine that. Kids couldn't beat the old man, huh?
Yeah, my daughter doesn't play this fucking thing. She's like, that's boring. I want to play Roblox.
Roblox.
But I also have a change machine that is the power bank for all the games. So like you can plug them all. It's like a USB. You plug it in and it's got all kinds of USB ports in the back. And it's
Yeah.
a change machine. So yeah, there you go. There's it even has the vector graphics.
Dude, I played the fuck out of Asteroids on my 99 Dell, baby. Let me tell you.
I had it on Atari 2600. Yeah, those things are cool, and the fact that like, so I was like one of the first people that did like a couple reviews of the limited edition Asteroids, and I sent it to them, and I was like, man, these things are great. They bring me back. Like even if money's tight, I'm still gonna get it. So for Christmas, I got Tino with a 1943 cabinets because the 1942 and a 1943 both play both games. They're just one is brand 1942.
Yep.
So I got one for Tino. His has a spot in the back for the extra controller, and it lights up. It's got a black light shit in it, so there's an extra controller. Mine has it too, but mine doesn't have a spot in the back for it. But
Sign me up, dude.
It's got an HDMI out. You can play it on your fucking TV.
Plug it on the TV. Just use the cabinet as a controller. It's great.
Yeah, it's exactly what you do. And then, like I said, hang on. I'm just showing off toys now.
Kellen, how have you survived, man? Isn't that adorable?
See, like
You just need to collect them all, build a little like tiny room with like dolls or action figures.
I have
like GI Joes playing them.
Well, yeah, there's people that use them and do dioramas and shit, but I have the actual, like the carpet, the mats that have the UV reactive, like stars and lightning bolts and.
Oh my God! Like from the bowling alley. Yeah. Oh my God!
Look, and you just.
Wow. It's bowling alley carpet. It's bowling alley carpet.
That's what I should put. Yeah. Well, this is what the arcades all look like in Ohio. Yeah.
Damn.
It's UV reactive. So you
wow.
I have these and I put the cabinets on it and it looks like a little arcade in my house.
Jesus.
Just yeah, there's a handful of those I want. But the thing is, like, my wife was like, well, what are you going to do with those? And I was like, the Asteroids cabinet. Well, I play them, but the Asteroids cabinet is the 40th anniversary Asteroids cabinet.
Yeah.
Like that was like $150. I bought that one. I did not buy the 1942. They gave it to me. The Asteroids cabinet is like, to buy that thing, like in the condition I have it, which is mint, even though I played it, they're going for like $700-800 because they only made like 1,000 of them.
Wow.
And once they make it, like they're like, they make one game cabinet and then they never make it again. If you don't buy it, you're just not going to get it.
Yeah. I did know that they would do like kind of small batch runs kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, bro, we've been on here for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I think I'm going to have to end this because I got shit I got to do before wife and kid get back tomorrow.
I got to sleep. It's 1:15.
Yeah, I was going to say it's late there. I always forget that. Like, I'm like, wow.
It's all right.
It's like
you know, you get to having good fun, good times with good people.
I would say we always have fun. Like you and I always have fun. Like
it's hard not to.
It's hard like, oh, we do like fucking. Everybody's like, oh, they did this video and we got to watch. I'm like, bullshit. Me and Cole just got to fucking hang out. This is like,
yeah.
This is.
And what's great is we still end up talking about knives most of the time.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah,
a lot of channels I go on, like we get off topic. Me and you get off topic, but we always end up back at knives somehow. I don't know.
Well, I mean, because
lucky, I guess.
Like if
Milan, what is up, dude?
Who? What?
Milan, Lab in C.
Hey, Mola, Labia, North Carolina. Labia.
NC in the house.
Yeah, I have a tendency to get off track and just talk about whatever pops into my head when I'm all by myself.
It's fun,
if I'm hanging out with you. Now, if I'm with Polly, there's not much knife talk.
It's
just basically me and Polly bagging on each other for 2 hours, and everybody's
which is also fun. Which is also a good time.
Everybody's in the chat just going, "What the fuck are these two?"
Yeah, everybody's in the chat doing their own thing. They're just whatever. They're just hanging out. Stacy, you have a lovely evening. Adon.
Oh yeah. So if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, Replicate Amusements New Wave Toys.
Is that a mouse pad?
That's basically what it is. It's a mouse pad, but
I thought it was like a hank at first, and I was like, "That's the most badass hank I've ever seen."
Wouldn't it?
I need that pattern on a hank. Get that merch going. Get that merch going, dude. Let's make an arcade cabinet hank too, just like a bunch of arcade cabinet pattern. That'd be fucking sick. Or just the asteroids, just like a bunch of asteroids with the ship. Come on, let's get on it.
Did you see Birdshot's video that went up today? I was going to talk about this and I completely forgot. I started to mention it, like the buying views.
The fake news thing?
The fake views. So
fake views. I misread.
Birdshot IV did a video about, like, he tested it. Like he took a video, but the thing is he's like, there's some channels that you see that like are getting way more views than they should. And he's talking about knife channels. And he's like, they're not large enough to get that many views. And he goes, and they're doing it just to get free stuff because the more views you have, the more chance you're going to get.
Interesting. I haven't come across that.
Well, and I mentioned the whole thing. I was like, well, YouTube is starting to crack down on that because look at how we're suffering. Like, not at all. Like, I don't want Jared to feel guilty about it. It was a really, really good idea. And I mentioned it to him. He goes, yeah, I really feel bad that it ended up like that. Now, when I lost 200, like I was listed as losing 246 subscribers in like 15 days.
Yeah.
Now, Jared has got like 30,000 subscribers. That's not a very large percentage for him.
No, but for us, it's a big percentage. It's very large
percentage. And that's one of those big things that really negatively affects where you sit on the algorithm. And now, like I said, now I'm getting way less views Like less than
so
half.
my views have maintained at a really high level since that giveaway started. Like
Bro,
my view count went up and it stayed steady now.
mine. I was
It's
getting
kind of
like,
dipping off now a little bit, but it's still better than it was before.
bro, I was having videos that were getting 600 views, 1,000 views, 1,200 views. The last 2 videos I got 70.
Yeah, that's a big drop.
And they're just not they're just not putting it out. But when I look at everything,
it's not on the homepage.
Yeah, it's nowhere. They're just like, fuck it. We're not even sending out notifications. So I had a lot of people like, dude, I just did not get. Jared was like, dude, did you put out any videos this week? And I was like, yeah, I put out a video every fucking day, 5 days a week, every week. And he goes, never got notified. He's like, and I have the bell and everything.
I get notified.
Well, I mean, but Jared was like, yeah, he's like, I went and checked, and he's like, you put up videos, and I'm like, yeah, they're just not sending out. And then people are telling me that they subscribe. I had one guy that said he subscribed 3 times, and every time we would log in, YouTube had unsubscribed him, and I'm like, well, and he was like, I give up. He's like, I like your content, but I can't just keep subscribing. He's like, I'll catch a video every once in a while, and I was like, he sent me an email. I was like,
sad face.
Over.
Yeah, it's malarkey. Hopefully it all gets sorted out.
Kellen said if it wasn't for Jared, I wouldn't have discovered.
Yeah. And I have a lot of like I said, I got a ton of new viewers that are like active members of the community that are amazing from that. That's why it's like at the end of the day for me it was a good thing.
Yeah, like Mr. Labia here and Armand.
Yeah, he was a newbie, a new one from the giveaway.
So Armand Canyon here. I know it's Arroyo. I'm just kidding. I like to pick on people. Like there's a guy on here. What's his name? I can't think of his name, but for a long time, Jared Clevenger, and for a long time he was using his wife's account, and it said Tammy.
Tammy, what's up, girl?
To this day, and this has been years. To this day, when I see him on Instagram and he makes a comment, I'm like, hey, what's up, Tammy? I have called him that like since the beginning, and he goes, it's actually Jared. And I'm like, oh no, it's Tammy.
From this day forth, motherfucker.
What is this? Shane says YouTube unsubbed me from here twice.
And I'm here all the time.
Yeah, constantly.
Yep. I've never had the issue. I've never been unsubbed automatically.
I literally cannot stay subbed to Jim Skelton's channel. Like I have to go I go every week and check his content to see if he changed anything.
Interesting. Really?
Yep. I have never been able to stay subscribed to Jim's channel. I told him that the other day and he goes, yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Like he said the same thing. He's like, organically, I should be above subscribers where I'm at right now. He's like, but when I look at it, he goes, it never changes. It just always stays right at 75. Mine right now, like I looked at it, I have gained no new subscribers since Jared did the giveaway. None.
Really?
It sat level, got none. I looked today, was the first day I saw an uptick, and I got like 30.
Well, it's not that you're not getting new subscribers. It's just for whatever reason, a lot of old ones are dropping off because there are always new people in the chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that they're not new. It's just like it's being offset by YouTube dumping off other ones for whatever reason.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's bizarre.
Aiden says it auto unsubs.
Yeah. Yep.
Patina says that's how it is for Jared's channel. It unsubs him automatically. I don't know what the fuck.
That's bizarre. I've never had that issue. I've been on YouTube for forever.
Only one I was unsub was Nothing Fancy. Yeah, but you're really not missing anything. I'm not a big fan of Nothing Fancy. Like I used to be, and then I got to the point where like I'm retired military. I try not to play it up too much. That dude just takes it too far. But the fact is, like, and this might piss some people off, he was a goddamn reserve pilot. And the last few years of his career, I don't think he even flew. He ran the probe for refueling. And don't get me wrong, that's a big job. And that takes a lot. Being a pilot, that's a big deal. But he was an Air Force Reserve. If you know anything about the Air Force, they call him the Chair Force for a reason. And that dude makes it out like I just think he overplays it. I think he plays his hand too hard with the military stuff. And the 3-letter acronyms, too fucking much.
Yep.
Who fucking
Old BRC, CRQ, CQC, BBB.
Molan's like, shots fired. Not by him. He was the fucking Air Force.
LOL.
And he got me into this. He got me into all this years ago. And don't get me wrong, I used to watch the Nothing Fancy Project all the time. But not so much these.
I'm not even subscribed. He's got a lot of subscribers. Holy fuck.
Yeah, he does. Got him.
Got him. He does a lot of boom boom pew pew stuff now.
Yeah, he does now. But he used to do like a lot of nice stuff. And that was like he did the big time, like long drawn out reviews. And
yeah, all of his videos are like 40 minutes plus. Jesus Christ.
And I watched him at first and I was like, man, like I have a hard time going more than like if a video of mine is longer than 15 minutes, it's because I got lost in the outro somehow.
Lost in the sauce.
I got lost. Like I was in the outro. I'm like, I don't know what I'm fucking supposed to say. I don't know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands?
It's a Ricky Bobby reference, y'all.
You're on fire, Ricky Bobby.
He's been active for 13 years. Yeah, and I mean, you
crazy.
think after 13 years, his content was better.
His thumbnails kind of suck.
Hey, did you have you noticed? Like, I'm hoping that
Oh
the
baby, yeah.
thumbnails
Oh, I
get
noticed.
people's attention. Jared said
Thumbnails is half the battle, man.
Yeah,
it's very important. People half the time they won't even read the title of the video; they'll just look at the picture.
So I've noticed that. I've noticed, and I've been playing around with it. I've done different little things with the thumbnails, but I have noticed that if I use blue as the background, I'm going to get less views than if I have red and yellow.
It's attention grabbing.
Or black with red and yellow, like the one I did for the Two Sons TS223. But the one I thought was going to get attention was today's because it had all three versions of the EXO gravity knife on it with a red background and yellow letters. And I'm like, that's got to get some attention. And no one fucking watched it.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't looked. I got really mad at the algorithm because I looked at like you know how you have your RPM, but then you have like what
CPM,
your CPM, which is on the far right, which is mine dropped from like 13 to 9.
Mine's dropped too, dude. I have like a 20% drop over the past 7 days.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready. Last 7 days, like 25% drop. And I'm like, it has to be the negative impact of that we lost all those subscribers all at once.
Yep.
So I told Jared if we do it next time, like if we're all going to try and recommend stuff to make sure it sticks, don't put a link to the channel. Pick one of the videos. That way they have to
link them to the video. That way they have to watch a video first.
And I'm going to start linking like some of your videos that I like and putting them in my community tab. That's one of the best things. Like Shane and you guys, if you want to do that, like that's one of the best things we can do. I'll start putting some of y'all's videos like in the community tab. Because then people see it and they click on that link and it takes you right to a video on not just your channel, but a video. Like, go check out this video. Because I do it. I find something that makes me laugh. When I find something funny, I'm like, dude, you guys got to go see this video.
Right. Oh, no, you shove it down our throats.
Yeah. In the community tab, I'm like, go fucking watch this. It's hilarious. So
that's the beauty of YouTube. Love it.
I'm going to come and shoot like a spider monkey. Yeah, it's a good fucking
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Hey, you know what's funny is we know those kids. Like, we might not know those exact kids.
Oh, those are the children we grew up around, pal.
But you know that we know those kids.
Those are the kids I grew up with. That was me at one point. Believe it or not.
Well, have you ever watched the movie Gummo that was based on Xenia, Ohio? Oh, my God,
yes. Yeah,
and people were like, oh, my God. And I was like, no. That's not too far off.
Pretty real.
Pretty right
Xenia
on.
is still littered with fucking used needles and shit.
Well, you know the the difference between a divorce in South Texas and the tornado in Ohio, right? There's not much difference because somebody's losing a fucking trailer.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There was one in Moscow, Ohio, recently. That's a
Where's
place. It's
Moscow?
on the
Wait,
Ohio River.
Moscow.
It's
That's-
on the Ohio River, about
That's-
45 minutes east of the city on the Ohio River.
That's what I thought. It's down on the river, down closer, heading towards South Point.
It's in between Cincinnati and Ripley
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you're heading east on the river,
US 50.
well, if you're heading down the river east of Cincinnati, you're looking at heading towards South Point because that is the South Point.
Yeah, but it's not that far. You know
No,
what I mean?
I'm just saying it's headed toward South Point.
From
'Cause you
from your perspective. From
Well,
me,
you
it's
can't-
headed away from Cincinnati.
Yeah, away from Cincinnati towards the east.
Towards South Point, sure, yes.
You can't really go very far west from Cincinnati.
No, you end up in Harrison and then
Yeah,
Indiana immediately in like 20 minutes.
Have you ever noticed that the corners of Ohio are just places you don't want to go? Toledo, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Wheeling.
Cincinnati's a great
four
place.
corners- Huh?
Yeah, Wheeling, like West Virginia.
Steubenville.
I got a new viewer he's like, my tri-state's Ohio, West Virginia, and Kentucky, and I was like, bro,
No, if he's
different
down
corner.
If he's down in that corner, he's Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Yeah. That's what it was.
his
That's what it was.
tri-state. Yeah, because like if you're coming up from like I went to a couple schools in Virginia, and I would drive up on the weekend and visit my family in Ohio. And so if you're driving up through, you're going to drive through to get to Ohio from Virginia. You're going to drive through Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and into Ohio.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy where I'm at. Like, I can get to Missouri or Chicago way quicker than I could get to like Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm at in Ohio?
Bro, it's like almost a day. Ohio's actually like going from where I'm at to where you're at. That's kind of a haul. That's like a day's drive.
Yeah. I mean, it's 3.5, almost 4 hours just to get to, Toledo from here.
Well, that's driving up north, and the only reason to drive into Toledo is to drive out of it to go into fucking
Nothing. There's just
Illinois.
nothing there. It's miserable, and there's nothing in between here and there.
There really isn't. There's a couple of nice
Except for
racetracks.
Columbus. I hate Columbus. I think everybody
what?
hates Columbus.
Columbus is one of those weird.
They have the worst crime in the state. Fun fact. Highest murder rate in the state.
I don't know. You might want to look. I do believe that Sandusky got them beat.
Do you know how many homicides we had last year in 12
Well,
months in
here's the thing.
Cincinnati?
You have to look at it. You got to look at it like
We
per
had
capita.
16 total in 12 months. That's pretty damn good. It's a safe town now.
Yeah, I mean, would you look at per capita? Because Columbus actually,
175,000 is our.
it's a way small. Like I guarantee there's a lot more crime.
Columbus is 1 million plus, I think.
I was talking with somebody. I was telling somebody about we were talking about amusement parks, and I was like, we were comparing them to people, and we were talking about this one person. Well, if they were amusement parks, like this person's nice and clean cut, and this person's just a dirtbag. I was like, if you're going to compare to amusement parks, this guy here, the clean cut dude, that's Disneyland. No crime. We ain't letting people in. I was like, this dude over here. Well, that's Cedar Point because you could get knifed in the bathroom in Cedar Point up there in Sandusky,
Sure.
Ohio. It's a fucking shithole. Like, I don't think they even have security at Cedar Point.
No, it's just some, retired fat guy or some like poor teenage girl with a walkie-talkie. That's it.
But God, Cedar Point's fun.
It's a great park.
You got Kings Island down there where you're at.
I got
bro.
Kings Island, dude. It's like 25 minutes away.
I remember
I grew up 5
rode
minutes from Kings Island.
I rode the Beast, and then I remember when the Son of Beast, before they tore it down, I got to ride that
so
one.
it was the Son of Beast with the loop, right? The largest wooden roller coaster with a loop. And then the loop kept injuring people severely because it was a violent transition from wood to steel and back to wood, right?
It was a rough one. Like,
it would beat the dude, brand new, that coaster would beat the fuck out of you.
I rode
and
it.
then they took the loop out because people got murdered basically, and then like a couple years later they shut it down and tore it down.
Okay, so Grand Thumb actually is that kind of exception to the rule. Like that dude's a badass, and I know he was in the Air Force. So there are some exceptions, but TNP is not. And I mean, I do know he is an anchor for. I don't care. I just don't like him. I mean, I get it. There's a lot of people who don't like me. That's fine. You don't have to like everyone.
boy, that Mike Imler, what a scumbag.
I wouldn't go that far.
Neither would I.
I mean, I like to think I'm a nice person, but if there was a contest for being a big asshole, I'd probably fucking do pretty well in my weight class.
For being big. Big, yes.
Okay, I have a joke, and then we're going to end.
Okay. What do you got?
So my dad told me a joke because no one likes the Ohio State Highway Patrol. We call them road Nazis for a fucking reason.
They'll ruin your day real quick.
They will ruin your fucking day, and they don't fucking care. They're assholes, and it's all about quotas. And they can say it's not, but it's all about quotas with the
It's
Ohio
all
State
matters,
Highway
man.
Patrol.
It's all matters.
And so my dad tells me, this guy's fucking driving his beat up old truck, and he's all greasy and dirty. And he's fucking driving down the road, and the Ohio State Highway Patrol pulls him over, and he's like, gets him out of the car. He says, how fast you're going? He goes, no. He goes, well, you probably don't have a speedometer. A vagrant like you, fucking dirtbag looking motherfucker like you, probably can't afford a fucking speedometer for your car. And he's like, well, I'm going to write you a ticket. And he goes, I don't know why I'm writing you a ticket. There ain't no way somebody like you got a job. You look like a dirty dirt ball fucking vagrant. And he goes, the guy goes, well, I got a job. And I get paid pretty well for this job. And he goes, who would hire you? And he goes, well, I work for some folks. And he's like, they pay me pretty well. He's like, well, what do you do? And he goes, well, I'm a rectum stretcher. He goes, a what? He goes, rectum stretcher. I stretch rectums. And he goes, what? He goes, yeah. He's like, so what you do is you start off, and he's like, get your thumbs in and spread it out so you can get your hand. And he's like, you just keep stretching. You got to go gentle because, you don't want to hurt them. And he's like, you fucking get it. And he's like, pretty soon you can get your elbows in and push, stretch them out. And he's like, but that time you can get your foot in it and just push it up. He says, you get it up there about 6 feet or so. And he says, what would you do with a 6-foot asshole? He said, I'd put him in a brown Ohio State Highway Trooper fucking uniform and give him a fucking car. But, you can choose what you do with a 6-foot rectum.
God.
I was like,
They would arrest you. They would arrest you. They'd be like, what'd you say? Taser, mace, get in the car. That's what would happen.
The only time I've ever been maced outside of a scholastic, like a classroom setting, was by Ohio State Highway Patrol.
I'm sorry. Let's rewind before we finish. Let's rewind. Let's walk through that word by word. The only time you've ever been maced that was outside of a Scholastics book fair setting?
No. So, no.
Scholastics book fair is what, I'm imagining you in a school being maced.
Like a schoolhouse setting. So, like in the military, you have schools. And I went to non-lethal weapons instructor. I had to get sprayed so that I could teach. So
that
I had to
clears that up. Thank you.
The only time I've ever been sprayed outside of a setting where it was like for a qualification or by an instructor.
It's 1:36. Here's the mental image I had.
I know.
Picture this. Picture this.
I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know if this is an outside of Ohio thing. If anybody knows what the Scholastic Book Fair looks like. I've never seen
Scholastics Book Fair. Everybody's been to a Scholastics Book Fair. Yeah, book fair, like we would do them like twice a year in like grade school, right? And it was just they would set it up in the library, little shelves, and you buy books and shit. And I imagine you in that setting with your daughter, and for whatever reason you piss somebody off, and like some mom just pulls out bear spray or some shit on you because she's like, "What'd you say to my daughter?" Like that's what I imagine in a book fair, and all the kids get the splashback and they're screaming and scratching at their eyes. That's the image I had.
So I was in Akron, Canton area, and that's a shithole anyway.
Yes.
And I was up there, and I had a friend. So I had a friend that was in the Navy. He was on the same ship as me, and he lived in the Akron, Canton area. And so I came home on leave one time, and I went with him, and we went out to all the strip bars and shit. And I got shit house drunk, and he got pulled over. He was sober, and he got pulled over for something, and the cops wanted me to get out of the car, and I was just belligerent, drunk, 22, 23-year-old me. And he's like, step out of the vehicle. I'm like, fuck off. I'm not getting out of the car. I was like, I didn't do anything. When you give me an RUI, you're going to give me a riding under the influence? Fuck off. And he's like, I said, get out of the car. And I'm like, and I said, no. And I didn't see this motion, which was reach onto the belt, grab something and shake it. He's like, I'm only going to ask you one more time. Get out of the car. And I'm only going to ask you one more. And he sprayed me. Like before I even finished my smart ass. And I had my mouth open and he sprayed me. And he got me good. And he got the whole car. I had to send my buddy Jeff money to get his car reupholstered because he said that no matter how much he cleaned it on hot days, his eyes would water.
Damn, dude. It's like driving around in an onion.
Oh my, I am not inside a jalapeno. I'm not going to fucking lie. To this day, I swear I hate getting pepper sprayed. It's like I'd rather get tased.
I would say so.
I'd let you
I don't think
tase
anybody
me.
would enjoy that.
I'll let you tase me. Like, just leave the probes in and just keep sending me on a 5-second ride for like 30 minutes. I'll let you do that as long as you don't pepper spray me. I swear to God, if I ever am in a situation where a cop comes up and I see him take that shit off his belt and do that shake, I don't care how drunk I am. I'll be like, all right, whose dick gets sucked first? Like, I just got to know.
Straight to your knees. Straight to your knees.
Whatever it takes for you not to spray me with that shit.
Oh.
I'd rather
pass.
you drug me. Who was it saying? I would rather you drug me out of the car and hit me in the head with your nightstick than spray.
Right. Hit me with the mag light, honestly. Mag light me.
Pepper spray training does suck. I didn't know you had to. I had never gotten sprayed before. I went to Nowick, and they spray you, and you have to pass. If you don't pass,
what does passing look like?
Passing means that you complete the obstacle course that's after. It's called the gauntlet. You have to do all of it.
You have to get sprayed and then do an obstacle course?
Yeah, and then do like an obstacle course of people that are, you have to like defend yourself, you have to retain your weapon, and you have to like take a baton from someone, and you got to like use a shield and fight. Yeah, it's, you go look it up when we're done. There's all kinds of videos.
Fuck that. I can't fall asleep to that kind of stress and anxiety.
After you've been pepper sprayed, right? But the thing is, if you're just qualifying someone, even if they don't finish the gauntlet, they still qualify because they got pepper sprayed. If you're an instructor, you have to make it all the way through. And so the first day, I didn't know you had, and I got sprayed, and they're like, I didn't finish the gauntlet. And they're like, well, you got to get sprayed again tomorrow. And if you don't do it then, your command's going to be really pissed because they flew you all the way from Japan to pass this school, and you're probably going to suffer some disciplinary action. And I'm like, okay. So, but this was also the first time I'd ever gotten sprayed. So I didn't know you're supposed to wash your face off before you took a shower, and that shit all ran down, and I pepper sprayed my junk.
Oh, right in the old pecker hole. Yikes.
Yeah. And then I had to go back the next day and get pepper sprayed all over again. I fucking
set it back up. Start it up.
Fucking horrible.
Pass. Hard pass on that, dude. I will fail that course.
This is what I woke up the next day and this is what my eyes looked like.
And I'm like, Swiss Army knives in your eyes? What's going on?
I got to get sprayed again. And back then they didn't just do now it's just like when you requal now, it's just like right across the eyes.
Yeah.
It used to be a Z pattern, eyes, nose, mouth. You hit all the membranes,
right, which is what somebody's going to actually do to you if they're not just going to be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're going to get your face and your neck and your chest. They're going to Vicks Vapor Rub that shit on you.
Oh, it's fucking horrible. It's bad. Like that's.
Glad I never had to do it. They did that wasn't a requirement for insurance licensing. So
I was a reserve deputy back home, and they used this stuff called Freeze Plus P, which was the pepper spray with the old original chemical mace in it. But they had changed the reason they switched from the chemical mace, the CN gas, or the CS gas, the CS spray, to pepper spray was because the propellant in the CS was flammable and people were catching on fire. Well, they reformulated it and mixed it with pepper spray. So not only did you have pepper spray, you had like CSCN. So there's like a nerve agent, chemical mace effect to it. And like, there was no gauntlet. You just had to not die. And
you passed.
So my dad was the firearms instructor. My dad was a firearms instructor and the non-lethal weapons guy for the department. And so I was, like I said, I was a reserve deputy, and he's like, hey, you got to requalify. And I was like, nah, I got my level 1 through the Navy. He's like, oh, we don't use pepper spray anymore. We use this stuff called Freeze Plus P, and you have to recert on it. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing it.
Pass.
And
Hard pass.
He's like, oh no, you're going to do it because you're still on the roster. And so we were on my grandparents' farm, and this asshole waited. I came around a corner of the corn bin, the granary. And this dude just out of nowhere, he's like, hey boy. And I looked up and he was like, psh. He's like, I'll sign your cert later. I'll sign your cert later. And he goes, that shit works good. You just laid on the ground and clawed at the grass. He's like,
yeah. God, dude.
So my parting is going to be a riddle.
Oh, a riddle. Riddle me this.
What's the difference between a grandma and a granary.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm not gonna.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Grandma and a granary.
Yep. Don't none of y'all in the comments section.
Grain, corn, wheat. Grandma, large underwear, baked goods, gray hair, blue hair sometimes.
I don't think you're gonna get this one.
I'm stumped.
One is Bornkin and the other is a corn bin.
What? Why? Why? Why?
One is Bornkin and the other one is a corn bin.
Corn bin, yes.
Yeah.
So it's a play on words mixed with a riddle,
it
mixed
is
with a
kinda-
poem.
It's like, what's the difference between a cat and a compound?
Everybody's saying boo.
This is a good one. What's the difference between a cat and a compound sentence? Well, one has a pause at the end of its clause, and the other one has clause at the end of its pause.
Are you sure you've never been to a Scholastic's book fair?
I'm pretty sure I ran a couple.
Pretty sure it got maced at a couple. That's what it sounds like to me.
Boo. But that's a good one.
All right.
That was a good one. That was a good one. You gotta admit. That was some good one. Those aren't actually riddles. Those are plays on words. And yeah,
Those are word games. Word plays.
Yeah. But that's two of my favorites, and they were in a Stephen King book. Stephen King novel.
Ah, Stevie. Oh, Stevie King.
They are in one of the Gunslinger series books. And I can't remember which one it is, but it's I read that in that, and I was like, I remember those. My grandfather would tell those to us when I was a kid. All these little.
Oh, he'd hit you with the Stephen King.
And I saw it in the book, and he said he had both of them. He used to use both of them, and I was like, it's pretty cool, actually. All
Damn
right,
it,
guys.
Grandma.
Grandma. I'm gonna get out of here. It's 11 o'clock, and I still have to clean the kitchen and shit before my. Oh God, what's an 80-year-old woman taste like?
Mothballs.
Bettina Turner, I'm just proud Mike was able to retain something. Guys, talking about retention, I don't know if you guys know this. I actually speak Japanese, French, and English. English is the third language.
That makes him smarter and more profitable than any of us.
French is worthless. When I say that, I honestly don't think I can speak French because my brain gets to a point where I'll forget the word in French and throw in the word in Japanese because I just know it's not English.
Yeah.
But I can actually I took 3 years of French. I can still listen to like someone speaking French and pick up what they're saying. And I actually watch Japanese TV with no subtitles and shit like that. So,
well, namaste to you, my guy. Konnichiwa.
That's what you say when your wife asks you if you want to go to yoga and you got a cooler full of berries. You're like, hey, you want to go to
namaste.
Yoga? Namaste. Right here.
Oh boy. And on that note.
All right, bro. You take it easy. Guys, I'm gonna go get this house cleaned up so my wife doesn't murder me when she gets home. Because actually
with his own knife.
I've kept the house really, really clean. Actually,
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I don't like the clutter. I allow some clutter out here in the garage, but when I walk in the house, it just feels claustrophobic when it's cluttered. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, same. My office is a cluttered mess right now, and it gives me anxiety attacks.
Yeah, I got to clean up out here too. It's a mess. So
good luck to you, brother. Everyone in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us, Mike. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Because I would have probably would have gotten frustrated because I don't feel good and I don't like just doing this by myself sometimes.
Yeah. I get it.
And I probably would have ended it after an hour and then just been frustrated that I had even done it. But it's always having me on. And then, like I said, guys, I want you to keep in mind, I'm not sure what content's going to look like next week. There's a lot of shit that I'm going to have to help the wife catch up on. Like there's kids got to go back to school and I got to help the wife unpack all this shit. We got packages of stuff that's coming from Japan. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that she's going to keep me busy. So I will try to have videos going up every week or every day next week, but I don't know. I mean, if I'm only going to get 70 views or so, I'm like, why spend that much goddamn time?
Why waste the time?
Why waste the time? I can spend time with my family if I'm not getting any views.
Well, valid.
Valid.
Well, everybody, write angry letters to YouTube. And in the meantime, we'll be here making beautiful knife content for your viewing pleasure.
Or just set your device up so that you go through a playlist of all of my videos and just let it play throughout the evening and just
help.
Have to watch it.
Help.
Any little bit helps. All right, do that with Cole too.
Yeah, please do.
All right, bro.
Shut it down. Good night, everybody.
Shutting it down.
Godspeed.